Once again, we are back to Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 4. We are now in the group stage, day 2. Once again, we are your casters. My name is Annie, and tonight would be Mike. Mike, what's up?
Thank you so much for that, Annie. And yes, day two. This is gonna be the final day for Group One. And once again, these teams that are gonna be staying at the top after these 6 matches, they're gonna proceed to the finals. Which again, they will also get to challenge other teams from Group Two and Group Three, which will happen in a few days from now. But once again, this is the final day for Group One, and we're just we're just all here for it.
Yes, definitely. And if you are tuning in to the live stream, don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course, cheer for your favorite team in the live chat. And so, once again, this is the last day for the first group. And so, these are the last 6 maps, the last 6 chances that these 18 wonderful teams will have. And so, without further ado, we are back to the Sanhok map, Mike.
Yes, I mean with Sanhok again, first game of the day. It's usually being Sanhok. It's usually the type of game that's gonna warm all of the players up, and once again get to know each other. But since it's day two, they all know who's gonna be staying at the top and who's trying their best to actually climb as well. And they really have to stop the top 5 teams. But for now, if you do look at the map right here, seems like the flight path was favored on the left side, but the circle is now favored on the middle to the bottom part of the map.
Yes, that seems to be the case. And of course, all eyes to the top teams, however, such as 2MS, Fen Returns, Neon. They also had a really consistent play style yesterday. And so they're also a good team to look out for. And of course, those teams that are within the top 5 because once again, this is the last 6 maps that these teams can really try and get a lot of points in order to qualify for the finals. And so, not to pressure them or anything, they gotta do their best.
Exactly, with all of these teams. Again, talking about 2MS being the top one, and that gap of that wide gap of points really sets them apart from the rest of the teams. Though 2MS has kind of that advantage, they still need to not be complacent in the remaining 6 games because I don't know. I think the teams are also trying their best here, and once 2MS gets eliminated as early as possible, then it's just gonna be hard for them from then on.
Yes, I definitely agree. And at the lineups, at the leaderboards, actually, there are several teams that either have already lost a player on their side or they only joined with 3 players. So, such as this Graveyard Shift, we haven't actually seen Graveyard yesterday. And so, it's understandable that they have 0 points from the first day. So, that's not looking really good for them unless they perhaps bag all 6 chicken dinners tonight. But I don't know. We don't know how Grave performs because we haven't seen them in action just yet. So hopefully they can catch up to at least the top 5 and qualify for the finals. Then that's the best thing they can do. But however, going back to the game, it seems that Sky has found some sort of engagement, but we don't really see much happening. Actually, over here, Graveyard Shift has gotten
Oh, there
eliminated.
you
They
go.
are the first team eliminated off of this map for tonight.
The cannon goes boom for the side of Graveyard, and though it was kind of unfortunate for them to go last for this game, it was also very unfortunate for them because yesterday they were all absent in all of the games, and it's just gonna be hard for them to push even further unless for the remaining 5 games they really bring out their A game and they really try to excel. This is gonna be their last chance. So for all this Graveyard fans, once again, they still have a chance. However, it's just gonna be hard from here on out.
Yes, it's definitely gonna be hard for Graveyard Shift at this point. But they still do have 5 more maps. But the fact that they lost their chance yesterday, 6 whole maps, it's something that's a little bit worrying. But still, they do have a chance if ever they do well in Erangel and Miramar. But that's something that we'll see later on. For now, they will be sent back to spectator mode, or perhaps they'll go and reset and try to discuss their strategies. But for now, we're back to the 17 teams that are still in the game, and Leon's United might be possible that they will run into Sky. And right now, Sky does have the lower ground trying to get some shots in on Leon United, but it won't be connecting. Sky is also getting shot at, but behind this tree. Grenades going thrown. This is a one
Oh, he
versus
goes
four,
down.
and of course, Estados will be knocked down, but the rest of his players, the rest of his team are coming in for the rest back. But
Oh,
Poison
he goes
also
down
goes
and got
down, and
killed.
it seems this is not looking good for Sky at all.
Exactly, and it was really hard for JNS Esports to push to try to even get that kill, even though they really had the higher ground disadvantage right there. They were at the low ground. It was just gonna be hard for them, especially that their enemies were just at the high ground, and it was just a game of hide and seek. And really, as soon as they were just exposed, the enemies just went in for the kill, and that's why they just got eliminated. Uh, it was already hard play for them to do that, and it was even harder when the enemies were able to take advantage of that.
Yes, I agree. It was really hard for the side of GNS to kind of get the advantage over Leon's United. Number one, it's already in the numbers disadvantage. And number two, their location wasn't ideal. They were in the lower ground while Leon's United could basically just throw grenades and spray freely. It wasn't good for JNS at all. They could have maybe positioned themselves again before going in for that engagement. But for now, they're gone for the game. They're gone for Sanhok. We'll be seeing them in the next map, and we'll just be observing the rest of these 16 teams.
And really, on all of these teams, I mean, most of them, I mean, of course, it's not gonna be a bit of an early engagement right here. I mean, maybe some later on, expecting that the map is also very small. But for now, at this point, they're also playing it safe, especially that they got 6 matches, 6 tries right here before they decide on who moves up to the finals.
Yes, they got 6 chances left for this group one. And of course, tomorrow we will be seeing another group perform, and that will be 2 more days and 12 more maps. And then we'll, of course, be seeing group number three in a few days as well. So it's really exciting to see who will qualify for the finals. And then here in group number one, of course, we'll only be seeing 5 teams move up to the finals. And so this is quite exciting. These are 18 teams, and so 13 teams will be walking away without a chance to even qualify for the finals. So lots of pressure, lots of pressure. Speaking of pressure, Goats Esports putting the pressure on OTX, but unfortunately, it is them who will be getting the knock. Goat Esports will be using Yuli, but Akuma can come to the rescue. They can get that revive on the run, but that circle is eating up both of these squads. And so they gotta decide. They gotta decide whether to move out of this place or continue with this engagement. Because this is still a stage 2. They can still take the damage. But then again, this is gonna be a time constrained engagement. They have to they eliminate the other squad as fast as possible. And then Outlaws versus Goat Esports right now.
They have the huts there. They can use that as cover. They have the walls, but also they have their smoke grenades. But it's really hard for them to execute this properly, especially that the outlaws are just really waiting for them to come out. And with that, at this point, they can probably try to go for a reposition. But once again, the rest of the teams are also just looking for them, just waiting for their heads to pop out. But while that was happening, also from defender turn Sadie right here going in for a couple of sprays. The shots won't connect. However, on the off-screen kill, DTS Esports gets one.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. Lots of engagements happening in Sanhok right now. It seems that there's an engagement right here with TTS Esports and Leon's United as well. Haiti is in trouble in at the back of this. I believe that is a boulder. In the back of this boulder, getting bombarded by Cloud, and of course there would be another member of TTS right behind, and that is the end of Leon's United with the death of Haiti.
Exactly. For all of these teams, with UK, which we've also seen their potential yesterday, and it's interesting to see on how they will conclude today's results. On maybe they will get to the finals, maybe not. but it's looking quite good for UK if they keep up with their momentum, especially with how they performed yesterday.
Yes, I definitely agree. UK kept popping up and just dominating matches, but still, they have a long way to go before they can really make it. I'm really hoping that we can see some kind of improvement or some kind of a large amount of points going into the leaderboards. But for now, it seems that we can see the map is going really encircling around the boot camp and the quarry as well, but there is a lot of open field. So potentially this late game might be an open field battle, but still it could still go within boot camp or quarry. It might be a hot late game as well, but that's something we'll see later. For now, we'll be seeing a lot of squads running into each other trying to catch up to the circle.
With 2MS Esports right here, looking at their status right now, they do have it's looking okay for them, considering that other teams aren't really around to hunt them. And then still 10 minutes into the game, again they're very safe, looking good for them, and it could be another game for 2MS Esports right here if they will not get stopped, especially if they also keep up their consistency yesterday. But once again, they were also kind of just climbing up to that hill. It's gonna be hard for that if they get spotted, and once again from a team that is in the higher ground. Also, for the side of CNS Esports right now, I mean, one member remaining right here. It's just gonna be up to Nono. And consider if you also have watched the other games yesterday, Nono, kind of a hit or miss for him. Though he does get some kills. At the same time, it's just gonna be hard if there's gonna be a team clash. For now, he's alone and probably scared, but once he keeps at least if he keeps up with this, possibly he can be a nuisance to all of the teams that are trying to fight this out.
Yeah, no, we'll have to kind of hide it out and try to get those placement points. That's the best thing he can do for his team. Then again, he can also steal some kills as a third party right now. Speaking of which, 2MS trying to get those shots into Trillia, try to get those engagements in the bag, but for now, Thugs going around in circles in his vehicle, try to find Trillia, try to find a good position to eliminate the other squad. But it seems that he will be running into another team that might be outraged. That might be outraged EOs, if I read that correctly. But Estella also here in their own vehicles, trying to find another squad to engage against, because this is moving into the mid to late game. They have to get some engagements in the bag. They already have the resources. They already looted the buildings. They already have their gears and their ammos in the bag. And so, what else to do than go get those engagements, go get those eliminations in the bag?
Mm-hmm. For all these teams right now, I mean, they're probably meeting each other, and it seems like we have seen some action right here for the side of UK, trying to shoot them down, the grenade being thrown just to scare them away, trying to intimidate them away, but he gets down, he gets sprayed down, and the rest of the team are just gunning him down. He burns and he dies in flames as the rest of the UK are also running away from them.
Yeah, that's definitely happening. Lots of engagements going in. It seems that 2MS is also engaging against Trillia, but that might be the end of Trillia, eliminated completely by 2MS. But otherwise, UK is getting those shots in by Goat and gets not Coot rather down on their side. But UK unfortunately only has one ace up their sleeve. He is the only one left in their team, and he is going against three members of GOAT. It's at least good that he's got one of their players down, but still, this is a 3 versus 1. It's not looking good for their side, and pushing in would be GOAT. They know that he's alone. He know Ace is alone, and with that numbers disadvantage, it is a complete wipe out for the side of UK.
And we're looking for the side of Goat Esports right now. They're really looking for better place here. And with 2MS Esports, it seems like they're probably losing this one member. And maybe they could have been rescued. But once again, looking at the side of Stella as well, one of their members are down. I mean, it's just going to be a lot of bloodshed from now on. Shersha, also they're looking kind of good right here, especially with their alive. All of their members are alive as well. They have the upper hand right here. The grenade kill from the side of Shersha. They got it, and they're just pushing right in as they take the members of Estelia. They are not aware of that one member, but he gets down as well, and the rest of Shersha will try to revive his teammates while Estella will go down with number 12 spot.
That was a great push by Saoirse, right? They're very confident. They just push in, no qualms, just lots of confidence. They know that they can take Estella out. And Estella, they couldn't do anything. They were perhaps surprised that wow, they're pretty bold in this point. They just rushed in and took everyone down. But however, there's still a lot of things to see on the screen. For example, Goat Esports finds another engagement, but will they get the elimination in bag? That's something that we'll see later on. But for now, it seems that NRS also has some shots to fire, LHC as well, and as well as Neon. Lots of things happening with TTS in the crossfire as well. And so this is gonna be pretty exciting since we're gonna see the next phase of the circle going into lots and lots and lots of open fields.
And with CNS going down, we are now also down to the last 10 teams. TTS Esports gets an off-screen kill right there, and also OTL as well. Another TTS member will confirm that kill as well. And looks like for Cloud right here, looking kind of good, especially they have the higher ground. But behind them is another team. But for now, we look at the spot of NRS. One of their members is down. Two, by the way, and it seems like the kills have been confirmed, and it's just gonna be up to the last two members of NRS before they go down. But for now, Goat will go down as the ninth team to be followed by Neon, which is surprisingly we haven't seen their performance before now, and they went down probably they were aiming also for the placement points. They got at least that. But for Outlaws right here, they will be eliminated as well. TTS Esports pushing now into the play zone as the danger zone is starting to hurt them more. With 2MS Esports as well going in for the push inside the huts right there and going in for a couple of sprays. Shots trying to connect. But once again, they're looking for safety right here.
One member of the Dead on Sight rather, running away with very little health, but gets caught by Zeus from 2MS. Now gets knocked down. Now it's just all the more, one more confirmation, and that death goes to the side of Saoirse. Unfortunately, that skill was actually stolen from them, but Saoirse over here, Escano still alive, trying to heal, trying to keep themselves alive because now we are down to 5 last teams and 10 players left with one of the members of Saoirse going down just now. 2MS, TTS, LHC, Saoirse, and Fen. These are some of the top teams so far. 2MS and Fen especially. But LHC, TTS, Saoirse, they also have some good runs and they're out for blood. They are out to get that chicken dinner. But for now, seems that Saoirse will be going down first within these 5 teams.
And now down to the last 4 teams and the 3 teams here. TTS getting eliminated, getting in the 4th place. It's just gonna be up to these last 3 teams, which once again I have said that a while ago. If 2MS keeps up their pace and as long as they don't get eliminated in the middle of the game, which they were completely safe a while ago, it's looking good for them. Fen returns having 2 members remaining, LHC having 2, and again 2MS complete, very complete. They do have a little bit of a disadvantage right here, but with Fen returns, they're also looking for a cheeky spot to get some kills, to get some bullets in. But once again, 2MS Esports, especially with the scopes that they have, with the weapons that they have, with the armor that they have as well, it is looking good for all of them. Seems like one of their members is going straight into it, hiding, using the rocks to their cover, and just really throwing that Molotov, hoping to catch someone off guard and just really burn them to the ground. But once again, 2v2, v4, it's just gonna be up to these 3 teams.
Yeah, it's up to these 3 teams, 2MS, LHC, and Fan. For now, they are waiting it out. None of them are trying to engage blindly. 2MS, however, they have the opportunity. They have the advantage of the numbers, and now we can see some utilities being thrown on the side of LHC, and it seems that Thugs will be going down first, and that's a confirmation of the kill down. That is 3 members left on 2MS. Now make that LHC versus Fen versus 2MS. Lots of space going down, targeting 2MS unfortunately. And oh, 2MS, they have to split their attention between these two teams, so it's not looking good. One after the other, they're losing members. And now Reem and Baku go down as well. Now
Ooh,
the
goes
tables
down.
have turned. 2MS is only a one-man squad now. And
Ooh,
LHC,
Bangko.
meanwhile, and Jumbo
Bangko.
Fan going against each other, one versus one. Jumbo Fan goes down. And now that is an elimination of Fan returns. Now this is a one versus one between 2MS and LHC. Who will come out victorious? Goat is getting revived, and so 2MS Zeus. He has to go
Oh
against
no.
these two people
Oh
left on
no.
LHC. And so, what will Zeus do? Zeus is hiding behind this boulder, Mike.
Oh, of course. It's really exciting to see in this game. Game number one for day number two. Once again, 2v1. Now, 2MS seems like the tables have turned. And now they're at a disadvantage while the rest of LHC are just going straight into it. Splitting, trying to do a pincer attack right here. The bullets go in, but he goes down. And that's going to be a winner. Chicken dinner for LHC.
Wow, those tables really turned on 2MS at the last second, one after the other. Their members went down, although they were a four-man squad at the start. Eventually, they got picked off by the last two teams standing, LHC and Fen Returns. They got picked off, and now they were at the disadvantage. And this met the winner chicken dinner going to the side of LHC with the two versus one at the end. And so these are the stats for LHC. Of course, Goat having 6 eliminations, Monko with 2, and the rest got picked off quite early. And so they have 0 eliminations. Even LHC's X, he got 0 damage in the bag, and so he got picked off quite early. And so this is the match summary, of course. This is the first map. This is Sanhok, and so there's still 5 maps more. And these 18 teams, they still have 5 chances left to really put some points into their team's name. And so, of course, this is just a warm up for the teams. Of course, this is Sanhok. It's quite a quick map, and so I'm really looking forward for the rest of this day.
Exactly. For the comparison for match number 7, LHC versus DTS Esports, I mean, TTS, they were also doing quite well. But again, the winner chicken dinner ends to the side of LHC being the MVP. That's gonna be GOAT with 8 eliminations and 586 damage. And once again, LHC, it was also quite of a good teamwork right there, especially that they were just able to synchronize each other's actions and just were able to back each other up.
Yeah, definitely. That teamwork really worked out for their squad. And of course, these are the top players for this match 7. Goat, of course, with the 6 eliminations. Aku from TTS with 5. Thug with 3. Smokey with 3. Moki? Smokey, rather. And Estados with 3. And so, great performances from these top players. They've contributed a lot of damage and a lot of eliminations for their team. And so, speaking of which, match rankings for this one map. Of course, LHC bags that chicken dinner and it has 8 eliminations as well, totaling to 18 points. Coming in second is TTS with 15, 2MS with 13, Sersha with 10, Fen with 6. That goes the same with Goat, 6. DOS with 5, NRS with 4, JNS with 3. And so, coming in for the second half, United will have 3, OTL as well with 3, UK with 2, CNS, Trillia, and Leo all walk away with 1 points. And unfortunately for EST, Neon, and Grave, they will have 0 points for now. And that's actually quite unfortunate, especially for Neon, because I noticed that their consistency from the day one isn't translating well for this first map. But then again, this is the first map. Maybe Neon had run into some bad luck, and so I'm hoping for a little bit of improvement in the next coming maps. But for now, overall rankings post match 7, still 2MS Esports comes out on top.
With 90 points, once again, trying to widen that gap right there to be followed as well by TTS Esports and Fen Returns, which are currently tied to 71 points. And once again, five more games, and it could be 2MS Esports if they again keep their momentum as what I've said a while ago, and also if they remain alive throughout the game and just be playing carefully, they will maintain that number one spot. But for the meantime, other teams are just trying to destroy all of their momentums right here, trying to destroy their tempo. But once again, for now, 2MS Esports will keep that number one spot while the others are trying to catch up.
Yeah, with 26 total eliminations from Vaco only. That is a lot of kills coming in to the side of 2MS. So imagine that. From placement points and eliminations, 2MS had 90 points, right? 26 of those points are from Vaco's skill alone. And so that's just an amazing kind of statistics, you know? It's just amazing kind of performance coming in from their one member of 2MS. And of course, once again, this is the match schedule. Match number 7 goes to LHC with their chicken dinner, 18 points from their Sanhok map. And so we'll be moving on to 3 Erangel maps and 2 Miramar maps later on, and within the match 8, match 9, etc. to match 12. This is the last chance for this group to really bag some points for their team. But for now, we will be moving on to match 8 after the short break.
Mm-hmm. What is up, everyone? We are back once again, day two of the Maldives Championship Contender Series. Once again, we are your shoutcasters. I am Mike, and with me is Annie once again. Now, for all of these teams, with 2MS Esports currently leading with. Actually, we have 5 games remaining before the other teams try to catch up. But once again, this is just gonna be a not really a battle for the placements, but a battle on which teams are gonna stay at the top. And with that in mind, I think if this keeps up for 2MS Esports, then they're really gonna secure that spot for the grand finals.
Yes, every single map they just put more and more gaps between them and the top two. And so basically they've secured their spot in the finals. But then again, we still have 5 maps left. And there's a possibility that they could be overtaken. But honestly,
Mm-hmm.
if they have
Quite,
such
quite.
a consistent playstyle, it's quite not that possible. Especially if 2MS they keep up all these eliminations and they keep coming up and getting those placement points in the bag, they're probably not gonna be dethroned off the top five anytime soon. And everyone else, they'll just have to climb up and try to qualify for the finals in this group stage.
And really, the flight path for the first game of Erangel it seems to be favored on a little bit on that left and bottom part of the map. And still, we're gonna wait for that circle, but the dispersion later on for all of these teams, it's just gonna be a bit difficult, especially to those teams that are planning to have landed on the mansion, the prison, the Milta. I mean, it's still a bit farther if they will really pursue that, but I think if all of these teams are gonna land somewhere near, we could actually see some early engagements. And looking at the circle right here, it's not gonna be on the military base and the Nova Noye, which is gonna be a challenge for all of these teams which are landing in that area.
Yeah, actually quite excited for the military base right now. I can see several squads going in for that area. It might be maybe 4 or 5 squads. Although they are spread out around the island, still that's gonna be a little bit of a challenge, especially for those who are, trying to kind of get those resources in the bag. It's quite a small island, yes. And we already see that UK and Goat Esports they have landed in the same area, and so after looting some things, they're probably gonna start an engagement. Even Ace over here already bagged one elimination to his name, and so that would have been exciting to see. But right now, it seems that Goat Esports they only have 3 people left, and so that equalized with the 3-man squad that UK had entered this game with.
And it seems like Vaba goes down, getting killed right there from the Lions United, and it really starts that first blood right there. And once again, for all of these teams, they do still have a bit of a chance right here. But again, looking kind of good for all the top teams. They have to take them down before the teams that are at the bottom part of the leaderboard can try to catch up. But for now, for the side of UK, seems like they're gonna be facing an enemy right here. Seems like they're contesting. Two teams are actually contesting for this area, and seems like for the side of UK, they were actually dispersed. And for the side of Neon, the shot's trying to connect right there, but it will not confirm that kill. However, that's gonna be a confirmation of the team elimination once again for the side of Grave.
Yes, a little bit nervous for Graveyard Shift. They already lost 6 matches yesterday by not showing up. They missed the first day. And so the second day, they got picked off so early. I believe they were the first team that got picked off in Sanhok. And now they are the first team as well to get eliminated off this first Erangel map. And so a little bit nervous for them. They still have 0 points in the leaderboards. But still, there's still 4 maps to go. And top number 5, they only have 8 points. And so if they go really hard on these next 4 maps, maybe they can catch up, but it's not looking really good for their side. Going back to the present, of course, we can see Neon. They had a potential engagement in the distance, but it doesn't seem that they're gonna go for that initiation just yet. So for now, everyone's back to gathering resources, gathering those guns, gathering ammo, gears, and just getting those vehicles as well in order to position themselves for the next circle.
And looking for TM2MS once again. I have said this a while ago. I will say it again. As long as they keep their consistency right here, and you know as long as they also try to avoid getting killed by other teams as early as 4 minutes really, and even to the middle part of the game, then they will have another good chance of winning another chicken dinner. And also, I mean, keeping that number one spot, it might not really matter to some, especially that it's just gonna be, it doesn't matter who becomes that number one holder, but it matters on the top few teams. It still plays a huge part because it's gonna be it's gonna lead to a hard play for all of these teams to try to catch up if 2MS esports are just really getting that points away from them. It gives them a little bit a hard time to try to catch up to the top few of the leaderboards while the rest are also securing their spots.
Yes, I agree with you right there. 2MS, although they are already at the top, they still have the chance to deny points from the rest of the teams. And so, although they've practically secured their placement in the finals already, especially if they keep this play style up, this consistency up, still they're still trying to deny those points from the other teams. And for now, JNS versus CNS, just with those grenade battles, some sprays coming in, but so far no one's going down from either side. Although JNS, they have one kill on their side. Estados already have one elimination to their name. Still, CNS, they're fighting back. They're trying to get those sprays as well against GNS. But for both of these squads, they're about to get eaten up by a stage 1 circle. Not that much damage just yet, but they gotta hurry up. And so we can see that CNS, they're pushing in where JNS has positioned themselves. Shiny going 3 versus 1. Check this space. Don't check the
Shiny!
space, but of course, with that
Oh,
numbers disadvantage, Shiny of course goes down. But
for
Reaper
the
coming into the
rescue.
rescue, but he
Oh,
goes
he goes
down as
down.
well with one member of JNS still alive and standing. Stitch from a distance going sniper mode. But Shitey and Reaper, they're down. They are down on their side, and so they need to be revived if they want to keep this four-man team alive. And on the side of CNS, however, there's
Crossfire it here with the rest as well of their enemies, and really just hunting them down with Estados right here once again, just hiding behind the vehicle, gets spotted, tries to go in for a shot once again. High using that vehicle to hide behind it. He goes in, he charges, but he goes down. And now the rest of the team are just gonna confirm the kill and also confirming that elimination for the side of J. which will probably take time. And that also marks the kill, the confirmation kill for one of their members, leaving their hands, leaving the fate of go to the hands of Akuma right here, which is again just one more hit without armor, without helmet, just one Molotov without bandages, and it's just gonna take a miracle from here on out.
Dead on site trying to hunt down their last member, but so far they won't be finding Akuma just yet. And so Akuma hanging on by a thread on health is still alive, but then again, we're still 16 teams in the running, and so those placement points, you know what, if they're good at hide and seek, then perhaps they can bag maybe a few points, but it's not really that likely, and so Akuma just have to try their best and keep themselves alive. And if that circle does not favor his location, then he'll probably have a pretty hard time. But for now, dead on sight, they still have all four players standing in their roster, and so they're doing quite well, although they don't have any eliminations just yet. They probably haven't run into any other squad. All they can do is really just gather those resources and loot this place up. And if they manage to somehow walk into Akuma, maybe that's like a free kill, but that's not happening just yet. So everyone's just back to, just getting those resources in the bag and trying to position themselves in advantageous places.
Estalia Sage right here. The rest of the team, they do have that high ground advantage in a map like Erangel, where also the higher ground matters, but also the buildings are there to cover each other. But for Estalia at this part of the game, 11 minutes into the game, um, kind of for me, I don't know if they should really keep staying there, keep camping there. It could really give them good results, but they have to look for it very, very far. With 2MS getting an off-screen kill right there, and also confirming that as well. Neon doing their own job as well, with Vacox also from the side of 2MS chasing them down the side of the Night Raiders. The gun goes down, the spray's trying to connect, but it won't connect just yet. Just trying their own. Of course, the Night Raiders are trying to dodge every bullet, and it seems like they have succeeded.
Vaco on the move, our top player for
Our top
this
player.
group. So I'm
Exactly.
really interested. What will Vaco do now? It seems that he's gonna give the chase, trying to get in the vehicle, but for now it seems that he will be prioritizing getting some loot. So I'm really excited to see 2MS's performance in this game because of course all eyes on them. They've had such a great and consistent playstyle, and I actually took a peek at the live chat. There's a lot of 2MS fans coming in, and that's quite understandable. They just have such a good performance so far on these eight maps that have passed, including this one. And so for now, it seems that 2MS will be rotating. They have to actually rotate into where the next circle will be because it'll come down to the southwestern side of Giorgio Pool. And so for the teams that are still outside of the safe zone, for the likes of LHC, Fen returns, they will have to eventually move in. And there's a possibility of being gate capped, but that's something that they'll have to cross. It's a bridge that they'll have to cross later on.
And now also with United being the left with two members remaining, it's gonna be looking slim for them from here on out. Shersha on the other hand spots Neon right there. The shot's trying to connect, but they is managed to escape. Shersha also will probably face the rest of the Neon team members right here. The grenade goes in. Shady tries to get them down, trying to chop their health off before they commit into the fight, but it seems like the rest of the Neon are also getting spotted. Can't commit to this fight right here. Shersha, on the other hand, going in straight for the charge. Baku going in for the rescue, just going in the jump and just gun them down. Escan right here, ending that kill, confirming that kill, but he gets killed as well. It's gonna be a trade for Neon and Shersha right here, and that would be the end for Shersha as Neon will also get eliminated. For the side of Leo, seems like they just went through that battle right here. They have to heal their teammates and they have to revive them.
Lots of pressure on Lee. Outrage Leo right now. They're very low on health from that engagement, and all the while, LLN Outlaws, they probably heard those shots. They know there was engagement nearby, and they can actually swoop in as a third party and try to clean up Outrage Leo, and that's really possible right now. And so, Leo, they have to
Might
w-
smoke.
to double time, get those revives in the bag, and even one of their members have already go down. And LLN Outlaws, they're not wasting any time. They're getting those sprays in. Leo just coming out from an engagement. They're getting sprayed on already, but unfortunately, LLN Outlaws, they haven't found the eliminations that they need just yet. They have some damages in the bag, and they're putting pressure on Leo, but so far, none of those are resulting into any knocks or into any eliminations. And so, what will NNN Outdoors do now? They can push in, yes, but that's also a risk that they'll have to take. And so far, they're trying to play it safe. They're keeping a distance from Outrage Leo, and Outrage Leo all the while taking advantage of LNN Outlaw's decision, and they're just trying to get as much healing as possible. For now, they're only a two-man team, and so they'll have to decide whether or not they want to take this engagement, or will they back away because they know they have the numbers disadvantage.
You have views right here, just going in and really giving that grenades, trying to also cover his tracks with that smoke as well. And the rest of Fen returns with three members. It's looking good for them, but they're at a disadvantage. If you do, I mean, if you're in that spot, you have to go out, and TTS will just spot you. They will just end you right there. And also, one of their members are also at the top. It's again very looking kind of slim for Fen returns, even though they got three members. And again, they're also very, very isolated, which is gonna be hard. But Leaves right here will have to force to fight them, and goes out, catches one off guard, goes for the down, and now also checking behind him as well to try to erase them before they manage to rescue the rest of their teammates. But for now, with Fen returns using the house to this advantage and just really looking for an off-angle kill right here, the grenade will get thrown. Will I get hit by it? It's gonna be that question before he will just be safe from that explosion. He's just gonna have to look for an opening right here to end one of the members from, of course, TTS Esports. Once again, it's just gonna be a battle of wits right here. He just passed by that one, and it's just gonna be really exhilarating to look at it. And now Cloud goes down, and the rest of the defend returns are also here for the rest.
Lot is in trouble, but they're still keeping him alive. But Shuffle goes down as well. Not looking good for TTS, although Sighty Fan goes down from the side of Fan Returns. That was a trade between the two teams, and it seems that Fan Returns will come out victorious from this engagement. TTS is completely annihilated from this map for now.
Jumbo Fan just with the rest of the team really they're recovering right now because they were one of their members was low in health. They have to recover, and because it seems like Stella will join in the fray as well, trying to end their stomp right here, being probably if they end, they will manage to for Fen returns to be that 11th placer. But for now, Estella will go into the fray, trying to push them down, but they're against that house, which is also being covered and sheltered as well by, once again, Fen returns. And at this point, for the rest of Estella right here, they also have to face down another team as well with the grenades, trying to hit them. And it seems like it's just gonna be a battle of rock paper scissors right here for all of the grenades. And at this point, it's just gonna be kind of slim, especially that their enemies just won't go out.
Estella trying to push into this building, but they're still waiting for the right engagement, for the right initiation. But Shy over here getting bombarded as well. OTL is fighting back, although they are all in one building. And Estella has them surrounded. And there's also a third party coming in very soon. They hear the blast, and Aish is taking a lot of damage. And all the while, in some other part of the map, we can see other engagements as well. But for now, all eyes on Estella versus OTL versus 2MS, the third party, trying to get those shots and trying to clean up the mess that's happening right now. But for now, between these two teams, it seems that no one is going down just yet. No one is going down from either of these three squads, but one by one, they're trying to push in, especially Estella trying to go into this building, but 2MSS, we're just trying to walk in and try to get some eliminations as well on our side. It's a standoff for these two squads.
Boom.
Some grenades coming in, but Sage didn't take a lot of damage, and so he answers back with another grenade. Still a standstill, lots of
Another
grenades, but for
boom.
how long can these two teams keep this
Oh,
up? But Sage finally gets a 1 versus 1, but he goes down from that skirmish. And so
Ash.
that's one person down, and Estella's down. Aish is the last person left. If he gets picked off with such low amount of health, that would be the end of Estella all the way from a distance
Oh
from
my
2MS.
god. And just taking that battlefield right there, punishing them down as well, while before they move back and try to reposition, while the rest of the team is also suddenly aware and they have to plan and they have to reposition. But for now, United will get eliminated as the ninth team. 8 teams down, and we might see an early end later on.
Yes, and that might be the case, but it's not
Oh,
over just yet.
he goes
NRS,
down.
they threw that grenade point blank at one of the members of Dead on Sight, and so that would be a Dead on
Another
Sight
one.
third
Oh,
part. That is the finisher, the last nail on the coffin, and so they're pushing into another building. Two members of Dead on Sight nearby awaken, getting really bold, getting really gutsy, getting one, getting
more.
one, and so another
One
one
more.
versus one between these buildings, hiding behind the wall. 1 versus 1,
One
still the
more
space
hit.
coming in, and in the
Oh,
end, awaken takes three
wait.
people down. What is the beast? Wipes out Dead on Sight from this map. Well, just all alone. That's absolutely amazing kind of
Player material.
performance from NRS's Awaken there.
Yes, it's like he's a top player material for this match. That was really exciting to look at. But for now, we're gonna get back into action as LHC is also facing another casualty right here. They have to revive his teammates because seems like 2MS Esports are also joining into that battle, and one of them goes down. And really, it's just gonna be a battle of versus 2MS and LHC right here, while Vakov is probably just staying inside his house. I don't know. But for the rest, it's gonna be up to the last two members of NRS to try to get the winner chicken dinner. But it seems like we are nearing towards the end with 6 teams and once again 21 minutes.
Yeah, 21 minutes, and we are down to the top 5 teams actually. So, quite exciting for these last 5 teams. This would be between NRS, 2MS, LHC, OTL, and Fen Returns. Of course, we're seeing the same teams coming in at the top since the last game. So, this is quite exciting. Still, NRS, 2MS, and yes, those two teams, they are a two-man squad. Unfortunately, Fan Returns, they only have one player left, and LHC and OTL so far they have the numbers advantage. They have 3 people in their squads, but of course we saw from that previous game 2MS did have the 4-man squad. Speaking of which,
Ooh,
they're trying to
one
get the
down.
space on OTL. Reem trying to get another position, and he's given away his location, and so he's trying to reset. But OTL, they are nearby, but they're quite low on health. They got sprayed by Vaco. Vaco, the top
Back to the
performer.
rescue.
They're just coming in, spraying at their faces, and so will that be the end? That will be the end of OTL by the hands of Vaco himself.
Baco to the rescue right there. While the rest of while his teammate was also very damaged by that danger zone. It was hard for him to actually get out of there alive, and it seems like Vaco was just really saving him from there. NRS also gets an off-screen kill from one of the members from LHC, just trying to confirm that before he gets down. But it seems like Hisham right here gets shot and will just have to surrender his last teammate before he is just gonna be the last member for this team. And once again, it's just gonna be up to him to save his team to get the winner chicken dinner. But once again, he's out in the open. The rest of NRS
Oh,
are also just killing him down, taking him away with a vehicle. And now Fen returns with Jumbo, waiting just for the right opportunity, the right time to get them down. But it seems like, look at the map right here, he's getting caught off guard as well by another member from 2MS, and just really waiting for the perfect time as well. Maybe they haven't spotted him yet, but at this point, it seems like he's just using the smoke to his advantage. He drives and now repositions before he goes down from a member, but from Reem, the side of 2MS Esports, and now it's just gonna be up to these last 2 teams, NRS and 2MS.
2MS is in a bad spot. However, they
Mhm.
were outside of the circle, and after getting eaten up, this would be a victory of LNN and RS. The good thing about that strategy is that at least they denied the eliminations from the side of NRS. But on the other hand, they have given away that winner winner chicken dinner to the Night Raiders. But still, great performance coming in from Night Raiders. They actually shot up all the way to number four on the overall rankings. And of course, these are the individual team stats. Of course, we can see actually they have 23 match points from this game alone, and of course that totals to 70. And now these are the individual team stats. Munsif getting 5 eliminations, as well as Awaken. We saw Awaken a while ago. A great performance coming in, swooping and taking down a whole squad by himself. And of course, Lucid with 3 eliminations. And also, once again, the match summary for our first Erangel map: 60 eliminations, 59 knockouts, 7.9k healings, and of course we saw that one vehicle elimination that wiped LHC off the map, 26 assists, and of course 3 grenade eliminations.
And now that ends match number 8. We have few more matches before we finally know which teams are gonna move towards the finals. When now the MVP will go to the Night Raiders once again for Awaken with 5 eliminations and the damage of 679, with 3 knockouts as well, and a heals worth 237. Once again, this is your MVP for this match, and we have seen we have also seen his play a while ago. It was also very, very outstanding. And for the top players as well, to be followed by Bako right here, and of course Layer 99 from CNS, to be followed by Munsi from NRS, and Sadie from Fen Returns.
Yes, lots of great numbers coming in from these top players, either 5 or 4 eliminations, and such a great number of advantage of damage. Rather, Bako coming in with 765 damage, the top one for these top players. And of course, we see the match rankings. How did these 18 teams fare on this second map for today? Of course, NRS bags the chicken dinner, totaling of 23 points. Coming in second is 2MS with 15, Fen with 11. CNS, OTL, and LHC all walk away with 7 points. And of course, those are the rest of the points for your favorite teams. Some of them didn't rack up a lot of points, and so they might not get a lot of chances later on. We're only gonna have 4 more chances left, 4 more maps before this group stage will end. And so, a little bit of pressure coming in to these teams, especially if they haven't put their name up to at least the top 5. And so for now, we can see, of course, 2MS still bags the number 1 spot. Fen returns TTS, LN Night Raiders, and LHC. So far, they have gotten into the top 5. And so, just crossing your fingers that your favorite teams will somehow make it to a placement into the finals. And so for these 18 teams, great job so far, and hopefully, your favorite teams can somehow make it to the top and try to qualify once again for the finals in after the group 3 stage.
hmm And it does look it does look sad right here for the side of Graveyard Shift with 0 points, and it's we have 4 more matches remaining, and it's gonna be hard for them. It's actually they can actually just be a nuisance to other teams that are trying to get into the top 5. However, for all of these teams, I've noticed also from the leaderboards, Neon still has the chance to catch them up, while the rest of the teams from there, it's just gonna be hard to catch up, especially that the gap of the points from Neon and the next team was also all I think almost 20 points. But now we check at the top players for the whole for the whole really 2 days of this event, with Vaco still leading with 28 eliminations, to be followed by Savy from Fen Returns, and also TTS Esports Cloud and Thugs. Also for the match schedule, you can also see right here match 7 and 8. It goes to LHC and NRS, the Night Raiders, which they actually had a winner winner chicken dinner yesterday too. And now, as we head on to 2 more matches of Erangel and 2 more matches of Miramar, then the game. This is probably where the game will start to happen. They're all gonna take this seriously from now on, especially those from the that are trying to catch up to the top late leaderboard.
Yes, that is the plan for these 18 teams. They have to catch up. But for now, we will be seeing the second Erangel map, and that would be about match number 9 of this Group 1 stage. And so, before we move on to that, of course, we will be taking a little break. And so, for those of you tuning in, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes. Once again, we are back to Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 4. You are tuning in to the Group 1 day number 2. We just witnessed the first Erangel map a while ago, and so we are gonna move on real quickly to the second Erangel map. This will be match number 9, coming in with the flight path shooting in from shooting range, actually from the northwestern side, going down to Primorsk or Ferry Pier down in the southwestern side. And so once again, Mike, this is the third map for tonight, and this is the fourth to the last chance for these teams to bag any points in order to qualify for the finals. And so what are your thoughts so far?
They're very bold, dropping early on, and maybe landing in that shooting range, which actually has good loot, and also with Stalber, maybe some. I think some are aiming for that Stalber, but for now, the rest of the teams are also surrounding that shooting range just to make it sure that they're safe before they charge into the shooting range. But for now, once again, it seems like they're just taking control of some of the houses near it. And it seems surprisingly that the circle is favored at the bottom side of the map, which is gonna be a difficult time for some of these teams that are trying to cross later on. Because I think it's probably focused. I think it's probably gonna focus on Sosnovka military base. The rest of the teams right here, once again, um, they have to move fast later on, especially that they will probably greet a lot of teams. And if you do look at the map right now, it seems like three teams are trying to contest this area.
Yes, it's gonna be a fun early game, and even JNS is gonna eventually run into LHC from a distance, but making a lot of noise would be Stitch, and so the other squads, they can probably hear their presence, but for now, between Outrage, Leo, Dead on Sight, and another squad nearby that might have been CNS, they're gonna run into each other, and now they're just kind of trying to loot as much as possible before they really engage and initiate a fight, because later on they know that something's gonna happen here. They know that there's gonna eventually be a bloodbath in JNS versus another squad and another corner of Erangel. Right here, Poison actually hanging on by a thread. Their health is already so low, and you can see from their utilities they actually don't have any healing items just yet. Just a one lone smoke grenade. I believe that's a smoke grenade. And so what can they really do at this point? DTS Esports, you have them surrounded. Poison already really low on health, but Stitch, however, already has one elimination in the bag. And so far, 67 players in this map in Erangel, but that number is gonna go down soon because there are a lot of potential early game engagements. As I was saying, JNS Stitch takes another one down, and that might be a confirmation, and eventually we might be seeing a first team
Oh, there
eliminations completely.
Exactly, with the Stitch right here, getting that first blood once again. I
Oh.
mean, getting that kill and also marking the elimination for the side of Graveyard Shift, and it does look grim right here for their team. The rest of the teams still are trying their best to catch up towards the higher part of the leaderboards before it ends later on. But for now, it's all of these teams are probably gonna catch into each other, and does look kind of slim for them, especially that TTS Esports is surrounding.
Yeah, JNS, although they bagged that win against Graveyard, still TTS is trying to take them down as well. JNS, they did just come out of that engagement, and so TTS, they think they have a chance. They're pushing in, trying to go to the second floor where Shitey is, and so will they get the elimination that they need? That's the question that needs to be answered. But for now, it seems that TTS, they won't be over pushing, they won't be overextending, but Shitey will be trying to risk going downstairs. And whether or not that will work out for them, that's something that we'll see very, very soon. Aku at a distance. Shitey, however, trying to wait out any push, any peek from Aku. But so far, both of them are playing it safe. Who will fold first? Who will fold first between the two teams? And it seems that that's not the case. They're both biding their time, but Aku is very nearby. And so far, it doesn't seem that this one versus one is gonna happen really soon. But
Oh no! Oh no!
Aku, will you peek? Shiny's ready to spray. And Aku, it seems that he's not risking it. I don't know if he has
They're
information
not
that
aware.
Chaito is in there, but so
They're not
far
aware.
we're not gonna see any violence.
Oh,
But Aku goes down all the while, and he sees gets baited out. Shiny, however, gets those sprays in and actually knocks TTS down. What
that's
a
brutal.
crazy risk with high rewards. Shiny very low on health, but he got the knocks that he needs.
Exactly, and he had just had to wait for the perfect opportunity. The rest of the teammates also going for the strike before he catches them off guard and goes in for the kill. Exactly, and it played out good for them. And now seems like esports getting shot right there. At least they managed to make it out alive. And for the side of JNS esports, it seems like they are moving towards another location.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. GNS, they have what they came for. They have 7 eliminations already, and it's only been about 5 minutes into the map, and so that's great. That's going great for them, but not the same. It's not the same thing for CNS, however, because they already got eliminated as well. That goes the same for Trillia and Grave a while ago. So early on, we saw a lot of early game engagements, and that's to be expected. There are a lot of teams that landed around the same areas, around the same drop off points. But for now, TTS and JNS, it seems that they're not done with each other just yet. Shafu takes a lot of damage, but he has Stitch on his vision. And so, will Shafu try to get this one versus one in the bag? It seems that none of them are still engaging, but later on, we're gonna see some sprays. Lots of discipline coming in
Yo,
from both
there we
sides,
go.
but there's another spray coming in from some other way, and
Just one grenade.
actually Chafu is all alone in his squad. He's the last person standing, so this is a lot of pressure going in from
Oh
this side.
no.
But Stitch trying to get those shots in. Chafu very, very low on health. It's almost the end of TTS. If Stitch can just get this one player in the bag. Grenade coming in. Not rather that is a smoke coming in. And so not much damage coming in, but Poison is trying to push in to the gondola where Shafu is. Sprays coming in by Stitch,
Oh,
but Shafu walks away with their life. And so whether or not JNS will give the chase, it's something that we'll see later on.
and it seems like Shafu is being hunted right now. He's very alone. And he gets hit while he is going down. But it seems like one more hit and he will get eliminated. Their team will get eliminated. But it seems like he just made it out alive once again. But once again, JNS Esports, they might be out to get him. And while that was happening, let's go back. Let's stay calm right here for the side of dead on sites. But it does look like they're also getting a lot of action right here, just trying to invade that house before they can take it away from their enemies. And it does look like a kind of a slim right here for dead on sites if they manage to play this poorly, and indeed they got killed. And it's just gonna be up to this one last player to try to even fight back because their another teammate is also down. Good, actually good for reviving. I mean, he can revive it safely, but the rest of the team right here are just going in and ending their journey in match number 9, and this is gonna be an end for Dead on Side.
Outrage Leo coming in to sweep the mess that Dead on Site has. They were busy getting that revive in, and of course, Outrage Leo, they took advantage of that. For now, TTS gets shot on by JNS from a distance. That is great reaction time coming in from their side, and that is the complete elimination for TTS with Stitch. What a crazy performance by Stitch coming in. He actually managed to save Joker from that engagement because Joker was quite low on health, and actually Joker got completely eliminated, got eaten up by that circle, and unfortunately Stitch couldn't save him. But still, they walk away with 8 eliminations to their name and still 2 people standing on their side. And if they want to keep themselves alive, they gotta rotate out of that place.
Looking for the side of 2MS Esports, they once again they're playing it safe right now. They have a few more matches to win, and probably just getting that chicken dinner is what matters to them. Especially they can get a lot of kills. I mean, we're talking about 2MS right here. They can get a lot of kill points as well, but focusing on the placement points, once again, they do have that kind of teamwork, but they have to be coordinated to pull that off. They have to be consistent, and it does look like they're trying to be far away from the danger later on.
That's the plan. They have to get into a good location if they really want a good chance of survival. But for everyone else, for the 12 teams that are still in the game, what they can really do now is rotate early into the safe zone, into the play zone, and so they can secure some spots. They can secure potential gatekeeping areas, especially if you manage to secure the two bridges that go into the Sosnovka military base. You might be able to catch some free kills. But for now, we can see that so far it's a little bit quiet except for Goat versus NRS in the distance. Some shots coming in from both sides, and it seems that NRS is getting shot at, but they do have the vehicles to get away from there. Foot, however, trying to get those sprays in. Whether or not that will result into any eliminations, it doesn't seem to be the case. But Koot does bag one elimination from a while ago. And so they got something out of gatekeeping this bridge. But so far, it's just one elimination. And so they'll just have to wait for another team to come by.
Estella right here, also waiting for the rest of their team before they can move out because it seems like they're in a good spot. You know, they don't have a few enemies around them, and they're also complete. They're, I think, sort of geared up, but not really that complete yet. But for, I mean, also the other teams, it's looking kind of slim for JNS. They have two members remaining, but they do have 8 points. So maybe they're just waiting and focusing on the placement points. I mean, they already garnered a lot of points from here, and also that's the same case for Leo, which is also, I think, aiming for that winner chicken dinner. But also looking at other teams, we have two MS Esports with 4 kills, once again, just aiming for that chicken dinner to get a lot of points and to widen the gap even more. But for the other teams that got eliminated, it's gonna be a hard place for them to play later, and especially that they got eliminated this early on.
Especially that there's only three chances left after this game, after this map. And so, lots of pressure coming in for these 18 teams. For those that are already on top and have racked up enough points to confidently say that they qualify for the finals, maybe they can maybe kick back their feet for one or two games, but they have to secure their spot. They have to keep up their rankings if they really want to keep their spot in the finals. But for now, everyone else, they probably will have to rotate into this a quite small circle in the northeastern part of Sosnovka military base. Lots of teams have already secured their spot. Fen returns, especially Neon as well. And some other squads that are already in the safe zone, but for everyone else, they'll have to keep it moving. It seems that NRS are still trying to gatekeep the bridge on the northwestern side of Sosnovka military base, but I don't think anyone will be coming in from that area just now. And if they want to cross that bridge, Goat Esports is also on the other side of that bridge, gatekeeping NRS, who is also basically gatekeeping. So both of them, they're at a standstill. Eventually, NRS will have to move. Goat Esports, they have a chance to get those eliminations in the bag, but all the
What
while,
happened?
Estella, also something happening within their side. LHC from a distance trying to get those crosshairs in the bag, but lots of trigger discipline. Manko getting those shots in, but it won't result into any eliminations just yet. And so LHC, they will be rotating into a better spot in order to get a better angle against their enemies.
LHC, very recognizable team, is now getting shot at and trying to avoid being eliminated. But in a surprising turn of events, 2MS Esports falls into their demise, and it seems like the game will continue with 11 teams remaining. The danger zone, it does start. It's starting to hurt, but it's not that much yet. And for this other teams, they're just circling the area just to make sure that there are no other teams trying to get into the safe zone. For the side of JNS Esports, it's gonna be hard for them if they get spotted while swimming. They can get easily picked out here, but for the rest of teams as well, it does look good, especially that they already get that kill off-screen kills in that area. And again, for Outrage, Leo, I mean, we've also seen them perform, but they have perform better. I think they're trying to bring their A game into this, and it's probably showing now, especially that they got 9 eliminations and they have to keep that up to try to catch up to the top few teams that will move on to the finals.
Yes, and that's what they're planning to do right now. They have to focus on their goal, and that goal is to get into the finals. And so, what they can do right now, placement points, eliminations, and just try to stay alive. Because right now, we are at stage 3 of the circle, but there are only 11 teams left standing, and there's a 37 players is still in the game. So, of course, this is still stage 3, although we are in the Sosnovka military base. It's quite a small area of land, and there's a lot of potential gatekeeping, especially in the bridges. Still, this might be a bloodbath later on, but for now, it might go into a little bit of a quiet game. But all eyes on the bridge, however, it seems that there are three different teams, LHC, GOAT, and NRS. LHC just disappeared, so that might have been a complete elimination of their team on the hands of either NRS or GOAT, and so they got sandwiched basically between two squads trying to gatekeep that area, and so we won't be seeing LHC for now.
And yes, indeed, we won't be seeing them for now. While the rest of the teams are also showing their potentials. And with some familiar teams like Fen Returns, it does look good for them, especially that they're also using a strategy to actually hunt for teams. And it does look like they're getting the results right here with Jumbo getting that kill. But he gets also spotted by Stitch from JNS.
Yeah, Stitch trying to get those bullets in the bag has Fen returns on their crosshairs, but with that trigger discipline, he's trying to wait for the right moment to strike. But Fen returns, they have that information. They know where Stitch is, where the general vicinity of Stitch is, and so they're trying to rotate, try to get another better position. And Fen returns, they can get confident. They have the numbers advantage, and so they are confident enough to push in with their vehicles, try to get a better angle against their the other squad. And so actually, Fen returns, they have the numbers advantage. The other squad, they only have two members left. JNS rather only has two people in that area. And so lots of crossfires happening, but not resulting into any knocks until now. Stitch goes down, and now there's only one player left in JNS in the vicinity, but it seems that Jumbo
Ooh, there
will
we
try
go.
to finish him off with the car, and that is the end for Stitch
So
for now.
satisfying. So satisfying, to get that a lot of kills. But again, we're back into action right here, and seems like Fen Returns is already starting to move as well. They're starting to get kills and they're starting to hunt now in a time like 17, almost 18 minutes right here. And now for Outrage Leo, it does look like they're kind of at the pickle right there. And for the side of Outlaws, it seems like they're gonna get caught on a fire right here by Shersha, which is actually being protected by the house. So they have no choice but to fight them or to just really run away because they're just at a disadvantage right here if they stay in this area.
Yes, and it's not a good spot to be in, but what can they do really? All they can do is rotate out of that area and try to get a better angle. But Taza is getting shot at, and so what can they do while they're still in their vehicle? So far, Taza takes a lot of damage and gets hit by that grenade almost point blank, but they survive. They survive with their life, all the while that doesn't seem to be the same case to two of those teams that just got eliminated one after the other. Actually, there's a lot going on in this just one screen. Right now, DCM Sersha's in a lot of trouble. They only have Escano still standing, and one after the other, the knocks are resulting into eliminations. But Fen returns, they are still against Sersha. Tazafan taking a lot of damage. Leon's United at the distance, being the third party in this scenario. And so Fen returns getting sprayed at by Gumbo, no less. And so will that be an elimination? It won't be a complete elimination just yet, but Smile gets knocked on their side. And so now they have to revive Smile. They want to keep their four-man squad. They also have other things to worry about. For example, OTL is also at the distance, trying to throw some grenades and trying to get into the action, get those eliminations in the bag. All the while, Federators is having a really, really hard time trying to survive. And so, speaking of survival, Goat gets eliminated, and now we're down to 6 teams. Haiti getting hit point blank and gets knocked from that grenade.
And now down to the last six teams, 17 players remaining, and LNN Outlaws is one of them as they try to clean that up. But they're aware that there are also other teams that are trying to join into the fight, so he has to hide and he has to seek for cover. And for the side of Leons United, one they're trying to revive the rest of their teammates right here, but seems like Gumbo is just becoming right here a marshmallow and is trying to heal himself up right here. High P on the other hand with very very low HP remaining, waiting for that revive before he goes down. And once again, if this fails, that's just gonna be an end for him, and the rest of the team will have a little bit of a hard time even more. But it seems like this they will actually maybe be revived by that, and it's just gonna be a team elimination right here for the side of the Night Raiders. And now we're down to the last five teams with Fen returns. At least they got that territory, they got the house for protection, but they're the lower ground, so it puts them at a bit disadvantage right here. And it's looking good actually for the side of Neon, with actually all members alive, to be followed again by Fen returns, United with two, and OTL and Shersha with one member each. And Neon goes in for a couple of taps right here, but he gets actually the bullets instead, and will have to leave and will have to seek for cover.
Yeah, Neon has a really good position here. They could get into the play zone without getting gate cap, but it's not the same thing with the rest of these four teams. They are outside of this circle. They are trying to get those eliminations without thinking about the play zone just yet. They have other priorities in their head. And so, for the likes of Fan Returns United, OTL, and Sersha, they're trying to eliminate each other before the circle, this stage 6 circle, moves in and crushes them all into one place. For now, it seems that OTL versus Fed returns. Fush goes down on their side, and still, Sersha, they only have one member left on their side, still standing. All the while, Fen returns. That is one confirmation on their side, and so Jumbo Fen and Taza Fen are the only ones left standing on their squad. But for Sersha, however, that's finally a confirmation on their side. That goes the same with OTL, and now down to three squads. This is between Neon, United, and Fen returns. Fen returns not looking really good, but Taza
Oh.
Fen, they try to get those sprays in, but he will have to revive Jumbo if he wants to keep them up against Neon. But for now, this is between the two, and with Neon swooping in, cleaning up the mess, they come out victorious with the winner chicken dinner.
And indeed, the winner chicken dinner goes in to another team for today, and it seems like it's actually exciting for the trend right here, since it was Night Raiders, it was another team as well, and now Neon taking the chicken dinner. So it's really unpredictable on which teams are gonna get the last three chicken dinners for today and for their selection, their qualifiers before they move to the finals. But for now, the spotlight remains on Neon right here, with of course our team stats from all of these members. Yonko with a damage of 115, Shady to follow that with 199, Bako with 81, and of course their last member with an emoji with of course another damage as well. For the match summary, we have 54 eliminations, 48 knockouts, a total of 7,000 healing, and grenade eliminations of 2, and on surprisingly 3 vehicle eliminations. And we have here the comparison between these two teams, Fen Returns and Neon.
Yes, actually, Neon in that last part, in the one versus one between Fen and Neon, they kind of just waited out for the last four squads to kind of pick each other off before swooping in and getting that winner chicken dinner. You can see that for the fact that they only had three eliminations. But so far, yes, this is the MVP. Stitch from JNS with, wow, 903 damage and six eliminations. That's a crazy amount of damage and kills coming in from just one person. And so that's just congratulations from Stitch right here, bagging six whole points for his team. And of course, that would be the top number one player for this match. Coming in second is from Friend Returns, that would be Taza, and coming in third is Jumbo as well. And so number four will be Outlaws' Dionysus SK with three eliminations, and Leo's Maito with three eliminations as well. Lots of damage coming in from these these top players. But of course, we saw Stitch a while ago with 900. Taza, however, gets 852 damage to his name, and Jumbo coming in third with 475.
Mm-hmm. And with that also marks the Fen right here. Match rankings once again. The Fen return still got a lot of points with a total of 15 points to follow that up with Neon with 13, and as well as Leo right here with 10 points, and United as well. These teams once again they've garnered points, but it does look like the points are a bit smaller, which would slowly impact the overall rankings later on. But for now, in a surprising turn of events as well, in this game, 2MS Esports got eliminated. I mean, in the middle part of the game, but however, they still remain on the number one spot, so it's still looking good for them. They still have a chance to fight back. The other teams as well, they also have the chance back.
Yes, that's true. And you can actually see from the overall rankings, Fan Returns does have a chance to overtake 2MS, especially if 2MS they won't have a good run for these next few maps, and maybe Fan Returns will get a bunch of chicken dinners in the back. It might be possible. But for everyone else, 3, 4, 5, you can see that there's so little points difference between them, 76, 76, 75. And so their position is a little bit precarious. They could eventually lose their spot in the top 5 in order to qualify for the finals if they're not careful. And so lots of pressure coming in from those teams, especially those that are up on top. They have to keep their rankings if they want to qualify for the finals. But for everyone else, they'll have to work extra hard, especially for those who haven't even crossed the 50-point mark. It'll be hard to qualify for the finals this point on, but still they have 3 chances left. We have 3 more maps to go, and once again the top players, of course, the same people practically. Vaco already crossing the 30-point mark with 30 eliminations just to his name. Coming in second is still Scythe from Fan with 19, Thugs from 2MS 15, Smokey from TTS 12, and Cloud, of course, with 14. The same players, the same household names, the same consistent playstyle, and amazing players, amazing contributions to their team.
Mm-hmm. It does look a bit of slim for 2MS with only 30 elimination points. He only gathered as a few of them. So I mean, they got eliminated in the middle part of the game, so it was kind of expected. But for this game, for game match number 9, it was also the I've noticed that the points are really on the lower side, especially at the 10 plus points. But for the rest of these 3 matches, it's just gonna be exciting to look at, especially that I mean, once again, these are the last 3 matches before we get onto the side on which teams are gonna move to the finals. And with that, we'll move on to match number 10 later on as we go in for a short break.
And once again, we are back to the Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 4. This is Group 1, day number 2 of the group stage. Once again, this has been match number 9. We just witnessed, rather, match number 9. We'll be moving on to match number 10, the last Erangel map for tonight. And so we saw the victory of Neon Esports in the last game. And so actually, I mentioned a while ago it's quite low on the side of points for the side of Neon. They only had 13 points, and that 10 points was from the placement points, and those 3 points was just from the eliminations. And I thought that it might have been because Neon Esports, they were just waiting out for the last few teams to kind of go at each other. And so that was exciting to see. Still, it was a chicken dinner, and they denied those placement points from the last few teams. And so of course, we'll be moving on to the next map. We'll be seeing a different play for now. So, Mike, what can you say about this flight path?
For this flight path, especially, it's gonna be the last match for Erangel. Once again, it seems like we have cursed right here with Erangel matches that the flight path are just really being considerate to all of the teams, and right now it does look like it, especially that the flight path is more on the right side and the bottom part. We will still have to wait for the circle, which I don't know. Maybe if I will guess, it's just gonna be the circle very far by the flight path. And
Yeah.
with that, that gives them a lot of challenge if that were to happen. But for now, again, they're still waiting for their landing spot.
Yeah, if it goes to Giorgio Pool, that would be really funny, and it'll be funny for us, but it won't be funny for the players. But unfortunately for us, but fortunately for the players, huh? But not unfortunately for us, that circle will be going into the northern side of the map around Pochinki, Gatka. Still, you can see Quarry and Ferry Pier and some of Sosnovka military base. So there's still a lot of possibilities as to where the last final circle will go. But everyone else, however, they're avoiding that circle like it's the plague. They're all landing towards the northeastern or eastern side of the map. So, whatever their plan is, hopefully it will be fruitful because a lot of them will be running into each other. Huge cluster of colors around the eastern side of the. So, really hoping, crossing my fingers for some early game engagement. Speaking of which, we can already see some knocks and some eliminations of first blood coming in against the side of NRS.
And really impressive kill. It's just the knife ending that life right there. And again, first blood goes, of course, to Pro, and now the rest of the NRS are actually just moving away from that. It seems like he got spotted though. He has no choice but to hide. He only has the knife, and with that, he down and gets replied with a knife kill once again by two Pro. That's gonna be the double right there. Again, still a knife while they move. I think at this point they're using their vehicles just as their weapons for now, especially that they don't have loot yet. And especially considering that the flight path wasn't very considerate to all of them, which really puts them at a disadvantage.
Yeah, and it's so early on into the game. They landed in the open field, and so there's not a lot of chances that they pick up a gun in that area. And so for those teams, for NRS, rather, with only a gun to their name, it's not much that they can do. And so they got picked off early on, and that's down to 2 players on their side. So early on, they already have an. So it's not looking good for their side. But for everyone else, hopefully they're gonna go fare. They're gonna fare better rather than NRS. They have a lot of chances to loot those buildings, get those guns, get those ammo, eventually get those vehicles and rotate into the circle and position themselves well. But that's not the same for NRS because they've already lost 2 members.
And with that, especially for Shersha, looking at their perspective right now, so far so good for them, especially also for the side of Dead on site. While they're still looking for places to loot, really, but they do have the vehicles, which also gives them that upper hand. But for the rest of the teams, I think what I've noticed from most of them is they're usually on vehicles for now. They've only looted a little bit of weapons, but now it does look like a fair Fast and Furious game. And with that, one goes down. It seems like Outrage Leo I mean, that member was just like, what happened? Did my teammates fall down? And they just stopped there to try to rescue them.
Yeah, it's definitely happening, but Dead on Sight, they're not done with Outreach Leo just yet. They're pushing in. Little is trying to push into that area, but however, Dead on Sight, they're about to be Dead on Sight. Already two of their players on the red trying to get that revive in the bag, but Naomi says they're not giving you that chance, throws a grenade, but that won't end anyone's life just yet. However, Outreach Leo, they already lost one member on their roster, and so they have that numbers disadvantage. However, Dead on Sight, they still need to revive two of their players. They haven't had that opportunity just yet. And so, Outreach Leo, if they play the cards right, they can eventually push in Dead on Sight when they are down on their weakest. And so, Outreach Leo, what can they do? What will they do? They're trying to play it safe. They're trying to play it safe. They're just hiding, trying to find a good angle to kind of push in. And now that pushing in is happening, but one down on the side of Dead on Sight. Naomi, however, needs that revive. And so there are two people left standing on the side of Outrage Leo. One versus one, two versus one, rather, behind this wall. And so Outrage Leo, all they have to do is kind of sweep up the mess. And that is complete elimination for the side of Dead on Sight.
And with that, there goes their team as well. And also, I think UK as well, they also lost right here. But for now, the rest, we focus back onto all of these teams right here with Outrage Leo winning that one. And that would be a time for them to recuperate and to heal up. But for now, Estalia being having that high ground, also a bit of a separated right there. But again, they do have the higher ground. They can just really get for a few kills from here on out, and especially that I think they're gonna be on the hunt right here for gold.
Yeah, Stella, they're just waiting for the right moment to strike. They have information that Goat is nearby, and Goat, they probably spotted Estella as well. And so, just taking a look at the map, Estella actually has Goat surrounded. So, they have a plan cooking, and hopefully, this plan would result into some eliminations to their name. But for now, they're both waiting it out. Both of these teams, they're waiting themselves out, trying to find a good angle to initiate an engagement. But so far, they're not finding that opportunity just yet. None of them want to take that risk for now. And so, this is a standstill for both of them. But it's not the same, however, for Fen Returns against Trillia. Fen Returns pushing in, trying to get those eliminations to the bag. Taza throws a grenade at nothing. Trillia, however, in a very bad spot. Taza Fen trying to get those sprays in and takes down Cap from Trillia. But however, Taza also goes down in that revenge kill from another person. All the way at the distance from Trillia. Monk throwing in that Molotov. Will that hit someone? Eventually, that would be the case. Lots of fire coming in on the side of Fen. Luth getting those sprays inside, taking some damage. However, Luth is also taking the same amount of damage with those revenge bullets. And however, that grenade's going to the side of Fen. So how will that fare between Trillia and Fen? One after the other, they're just trading. Scythe already completely gets eliminated from the picture. Push, however, falls off the vehicle. And it's not done just yet. Trillia versus Fen Returns. Who will come up victorious? Cap very low on health. That goes the same with Luth as well. Monk running away, trying to go away with their lives. But however, Luca goes down by the hands of Taza with that DBS. And so one person down left. And Trillia not looking good. They're disengaging. They're trying to get away. But however, Jumbo is very low on health. They have the lower ground. So that will be the end for Jumbo for now. Tazo, however, trying to go to the rescue, trying to get those sprays in. But Jumbo Fan, they completely get eliminated as two people left on the side of Fen Returns against Trillia. It's not over just yet. This is quite a long engagement, and Fen Returns, they're trying to position themselves better in order to get a better angle against Trillia.
And also for the Fen Returns right here, trying to fight them off guard. And now Taza will end the Trillia's journey right here in match number 10. And with that, Fen Returns will easily get the 4 kills while they are down with the last 2 members. Which, of course, speaking about Fen Returns, we've noticed as well that they have the potential to challenge. But again, we only have the last 3 matches, this included. And with that, I think it's just gonna be hard for all of the teams to try to catch up. It's just gonna be a matter of who gets the top few spots before they move on to the finals.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. They have to secure their spot into the finals. That is the goal of the group stage. And so for these teams, especially those who are quite a long way from even qualifying for the top five, they have to do something. They have to step up. And all the while, these top teams, actually, those already in the top, they're playing so well. They're very consistent in their performance that practically quite hard to go against them. It seems that Graveyard Shift, they might have accepted their fate. They're already getting eaten by stage 2 circle, and maybe they're just trying to heal up, trying to get into the play zone, but it's not looking good for them. Let's see if they manage to survive. And it's a good thing, actually. I'm actually quite happy that Graveyard's still alive. So far in the last few maps, they keep getting picked off. And speaking of picked off, Matus almost loses their lives, misses that. Come on, bro. He's probably like stuttering right now, and that's not looking good for their side. But LHC, it seems that they already lost one person on their roster, and they're trying to rotate into a better area, into a better location from where they came from.
LHC once again, being, I mean, we're looking at their POV right now. It still looks promising for them, especially that they're one of those top teams, and maybe once again, maybe they could actually even challenge them and try to surpass them. But once again, all of these teams are just gonna find it very, very difficult to try to even reach the higher part of the leaderboard. This is really just one of those moments where you have to focus on who gets the top few spots in the leaderboard to proceed to the finals. And really, all of these efforts are just gonna count. And it seems like right now, Stitch getting hit by that car who just flew over him. Ayu also trying to get a few kills of his own, and he gets one down to confirm that kill. And it does go. It does get that. They do get that kill for their team.
Yes, and that's one confirmation for their side. However, Estella, they know that JNS is nearby, trying to hunt them down, trying to get more eliminations in the bag. But however, JNS answers with the sprays of their own, but not looking very good for their squad. However, Estella's pushing in. They get another knock. They get another elimination on their side. JNS slowly, sure but surely, they're getting picked off, and with Poison as the last person standing getting eliminated, that is the last that we'll be seeing of JNS for this map.
And with that, also marks their and demise right here. But for now, we take a look at Outrage Leo, which they do have a little bit of a higher ground advantage, but they're kind of separated with each other, you know. But now looking at the bigger part of the picture right here, the map, it seems like the circle is starting to become smaller. The teams are also trying to cramp to occupy their spaces, but it does look like we can expect a lot of engagements later on.
Yes, and hopefully we can see those engagements because so far there's a lot of kills already happening so early on in the game. We're about less than 15 minutes in actually, and we're already down to less than 60 players left standing in this Erangel map. It's so quite exciting for these teams. And we can actually see the circle is favoring once again the Sanhok military base, and so this will be interesting, especially for the teams that can manage to gatekeep the northwestern bridge. Lots of kills that could be have. There's lots of potential of kills for 2MS. However, they're in the water. They're getting shot at. However, this is really looking bad for them. If they get shot at, all of them will be going down because they're all in one vehicle. And speaking of which, Zeus gets picked off one after the other. I'm really worried for 2MS. They're very low on health. And so they are practically a sitting duck. And now one after the other, they get picked off. Now it's only Thugs that is left standing in the land. However, everyone jumping into the water trying to save themselves. Zeus. Zeus needs that revive, but he's so far off from the rest of this team, so it's not looking good for him. He might not survive this. But all the while, Goat also has some other problems on their side already. Two people needing that revive. Make that three. White's the last person standing. Will he survive? If that goes on, it seems that this will be the end of Goat Esports on the hands of Estella.
And with that, also the kill goes towards them, and especially for Estella right here, reviving their teammates, trying to fight back once again. But it does look like in the kill feed right now, NRS gets a kill on that one member from Neon, and now we go back into action right here from the side of Leon's United. Seems like they're gonna be facing as well another team right here, and it's just gonna be a matter of it killing everyone right here, especially that it's a matter of high ground versus low ground game right there. But we go in to check the other teams and their conditions right now, looking good for all of them. But they are very aware that there are a lot of teams that are nearby to watch.
And there's a lot of teams coming in from this area, and also TTS getting those shots in as well against that would be Grave, I believe. And so they're being sent to the grave one after the other. TTS just practically wiping them off the map just like that. Grave couldn't even fight back, couldn't see that in the kill feed at all. And so TTS, they walk away with 4 eliminations to their name, and now since getting eaten up by that circle, all they have to do is rotate out of the way and try to find more engagements later on.
And with that, looking for engagements, I mean, for now, 12 teams remaining in this 15 minutes into the game. Again, we might be seeing another similar game a while ago from the Erangel match number 8. And with that, I mean, match number 9, sorry. And with that, I mean, if we do have that kind of trend, we will probably expect a fewer points, or maybe just the same, maybe a little bit higher. But will it be enough to even catch up towards the top few places of the leaderboard? That's gonna be the question. But once again, I mean, for now, we're not expecting quite something yet. We're not expecting a lot of engagements, especially that they know how to be far away from each other. But for TTS Esports, we might actually see some clash right here as they're trying to hunt down the last teammate that they are actually killing.
No, Shy just got ran
So
over
yeah,
with that
shy
knock, and
with
that
that.
is an elimination completely by the hands of Cloud. Cloud just cleaning up the mess, and so he walks away with another elimination to their name. And speaking of eliminated, United also wiped off from the map, and so that will be the last that we'll be seeing of them for Erangel. And so we'll be moving on to Miramar, of course, 2 more maps. And those teams that fare better in Miramar, they'll probably have a better chance, and hopefully they rack up those points. But for now, all eyes on CNS Esports, still 0 eliminations. It seems that they've actually landed in Sosnovka military base, and so they haven't had the luxury of getting those early game engagements. They're quite far off from other squads, but now that the other squads are being forced to rotate into the military base island, CNS Esports, they have the chance to get those pickoffs, to get those eliminations in the bag for them. They have a good chance of gatekeeping the area because they were there first. But whether or not they'll survive gatekeeping, or will they get knocked off by the other teams, that's something that we'll find out later on. For now, TTS Esports will be the first team that they will be running into now.
And with that also marks once again. I mean, 17 minutes into the game, we're almost 18 minutes, and we're not really facing a lot of engagements. But surely later on, this would end quite fast for all of these teams, especially that they're all cramped up in some spaces, and it's just a matter of time really on who and which team are gonna go in towards each other. But right now, once looking again for the perspective of 2MS Esports, it does look like they're getting a little bit of a disadvantage right here, though they were actually avoiding a lot of engagements. At least at this point, their enemy right now is the danger zone, and once they get into the edge of the safe zone, then they might get killed.
Yeah, speaking of Edge, Estella trying to get into the circle where CNS is actually positioned in. So, CNS, they have the chance to actually gatekeep Estella at this point. And TTS, they still have some time before that circle will close in to their area. And so, they could still have time to pick off CNS and try to potentially contest the area that they are holding. And so CNS is actually trying to fight back. We can see some crossfire going into towards the side of Estella. And so, how will this fare for CNS? It's something that we'll find out really soon. But for now, it seems that 2MS versus OTL not over them just yet. One after the other, 2MS actually losing some of their players on their roster. 2MS Vako 1 versus 1 against Sasuke. Sasuke goes down, gets completely eliminated as well by the hands of Vako, our top player. However, their team, there are only two people left standing and they only have two eliminations so far. It's not looking good on their side. And so, speaking of side, Neon versus CNS.
Oh,
CNS gets wiped off from the map by the hands of Neon. That's one person down on their side, and Neon, they're out for blood. They know CNS is in the area, and they manage to get control of this building, of this area, which CNS previously had control of. But however, Estella's also in the area trying to secure a good location. So it's quite a mess in this area where CNS used to have control over.
and with that marks as well the top 10 teams start battling it out now. We're already in the 20-minute mark. Once again, still 10 teams. We're gonna be expecting a lot of bloodshed later on, and it does look like it, especially that Neon is caught in a pickle right here, and the grenades are being thrown right at them. Another grenade goes in, tries to dodge that, and indeed they still make it out alive. CNS Esports looks for opening right here before they go in for the charge, they go in for the attack. But so far, nothing is happening except that TTS Cloud gets a kill, gets a grenade kill, and that would actually mark the end for Fen Returns.
BTS getting those sprays in against Sersha, but Sersha only gets a few damage, some chip damage coming in from Aku, but Aku changes the goalpost, sees another person from Sersha, LHE rather being the third party in that area, so Sersha's getting targeted by two different squads. However, Neon also has their own story to tell. Some utility, some throwables being thrown by Neon here against CNS and Estella. Getting that grenade to explode, but none of them hitting any players nearby. And so Neon versus another member from CNS. It seems that Neon will be going down at this rate. In that situation, it seems that he will be losing that 1 versus 1, but he doesn't get finished off just yet. Shady, Yonko, and Bako, they have to rescue their one last player if they want to stay a four-man team. But for everyone else, it's a bit of a mess. There's a lot of teams. There are 9 teams to be exact in this small circle. And so, this is just practically a manhunt, an all for themselves, an all for nothing kind of fight for these 9 teams. And CNS Esports, they're down to 2 players. And so what can they do with this situation with a mess going in from outside of their building?
With that goes it down once again for Slayer 99. And now looking back at the action right here for 2MS Esports, they do have that higher gun advantage. Going for a couple of sprays and it removes one member of the TTS Esports down away from their cars. And once again for 2MS Esports, it seems like they find a bit an upper ground right here, and a higher ground advantage, and they do get a lot of kills. And with that, the teams are just dropping like flies right here. This is what I'm talking about. And with that, already marks the end. We're at the end game right now with Neon 3 members remaining, OTL with 1, and 2MS Esports also 1, but he has that higher gun advantage. He can take them off one by one, and maybe he can get that winner chicken dinner. But we also know that Neon is also good at being a team. And once maybe if they spot that member from 2MS Esports, they can take them down easily. But it seems like they're busy trying to find the OTL member.
And we actually noticed from the previous map, Neon, they have good survivability, and so far they have the numbers comparison with the 2 other squads that are still alive. OTL and 2MS, they're just a one-man squad, and so Neon, they do have that numbers advantage. But then again, if we're talking about 2MS, it's Vako we're talking about. And now this is just between Neon and Vako, with the third squad getting eliminated off. And so pushing in Neon against Vako. This is 1, and Vako comes out victorious, and that's 1 person down from the side of Neon. Now this is a 2 versus 1. Vako trying to get that initiation in the bag, getting those grenades in, because he's getting eaten up by that circle. This is a stage 7 circle we're talking about. Look at how fast that health is going down. So he's gotta move. He's gotta keep moving if he wants to stay alive. But Neon, they're also very low on health. So what would Vako do? What is their decision? It seems that this will be a healing game, actually. Vako deciding to wait out the deaths of Neon eventually from that stage 8 circle. Seems that Vaco is
Oh,
just kicking his feet up. He's got 4 kits left remaining and several other healing items. So this is a waiting game actually. This is Vaco's decision,
oh,
but Yonko gets
one.
sniped down by Vaco himself. Vaco, come on! You're just an absolute monster! Bags that winner chicken dinner all alone. A solo player for his squad.
What a perfect opportunity to even climb up there and just farm kills. He was really in a good place, especially when he also killed that one member, another that is nearing towards him, and with that he just also got supply of med kits, and which actually helped him prolong his life longer. And with that, it was really, as you said, it was a game of healing. And at that point, Neon just lost that, especially that he was waiting for his member.
Yeah, and absolutely crazy last few minutes. Vaco, I really thought this would be a healing game, and in the end, he found that opportunity to just gun down the last member of Neo. That just resulted to one more elimination to his name, and also bags that chicken dinner for his team. And so even though he was just the last person standing on his squad for a couple of minutes in the late game, and with Neon with having 3 people left standing, still he came out victorious. That's the reason. That's the reason why he's still holding the top player, the top number one player overall for this group stage. And once again, MVP, of course, there's no question that Vaco will be getting that title with 6 eliminations and 935 damage to his name.
hmm And with that, Vaco once again proving how monster he is, especially now that you've just shown them, just killed every one of them, and with that 8 eliminations, wow, I'm just speechless, especially that Vaco grabs the top player spot once again.
Yeah, definitely Vaco with 6 eliminations coming in second, third, and fourth and fifth. Only 4 eliminations in comparison. And look at the damage that Vaco has dealt 900. And so these are the match rankings for this match number 10. Of course, 2MS walks away with the chicken dinner adds 17 points as well. I mean, second is TTS with 14, EST with 13, Neon with 11, Leo with 8, OTL 7, Search and Fan with 4, CNS with 2. Not looking good for the top 10 and below because they have probably less than 2 points. And so that's alright. Trillia, NRS, and LHC all with 2 points. DOS and GOAT 1 point. And for the rest of them, they walk away with nothing. And it's a little bit worried for Grave here. They are one whole day and then they haven't any points just yet. And UK, I believe they missed this game, and so they lost their chance to bag any points for now.
hmm And as I said a while ago, the pattern for the kind of game, the behavior for all these teams, it really just shows that they will probably get a few points out of this. Yesterday, it was really honestly exciting for all of those games. Most of those teams grabbing the chicken dinner got like around 20 points. Now we do see a lot of games that are just them getting somewhat at around 15 plus points, which I'm still hoping. We do hope to get a lot of exciting games, especially with how they're gonna conclude it with the last 2 games later on. But really, that's what I want to see at this point, and I hope that all of these teams can bring out their A game, especially that you have 2 last chances to even try to be part of the finals qualify.
Yeah, definitely. This is the last 2 chances later on in the last 2 Miramar maps. And actually, taking a look at the rankings, there's a huge possibility that those who are top 7 and below, it'll be hard for them to kind of catch up to the top 6 because between the top 6 and top 7, it was quite a considerable gap. And there's still a chance that top 6 LHC can still overtake top 5 and eventually steal that placement in the finals. And so that's something that we'll be seeing later on. We still have 2 Miramar matches to go. And of course, we just witnessed match number 10 going in to the side of 2MS thanks to Vaco with that great
Mhm.
performance. A great performance from Vaco right there, just carrying the team all by himself. And that is bags 17 whole points to their name. They are already at the top and they are climbing even more. Stopping, they have that great momentum and they have that great snowball, and nothing is stopping them from moving into the finals. And so that was match number 10. As I said, we will be moving on to the first Miramar map after this break.
What is up, everyone? We are now back into the match number 11. The first match for today, of course, for the map of Miramar. Again, we are your shoutcasters for tonight. I'm Mike, and with me is Annie. Now, Annie, what is up?
It's great. It's great. It's been a great night. We are down 4 maps, and now we are gonna be witnessing the next 2 maps, the last 2 maps rather, for this group stage. And so there's a lot of pressure coming in for these 18 teams trying to qualify for the finals. And so this will be, ladies and gentlemen, our first Miramar map for tonight. And that flight path is going in from the northeastern side of the map down to the western side around the southern part of El Pozo. And so these teams, they have pretty much a lot of choices at this point, but a lot of them are limited to the northern part. And so if that circle goes into the southern part where Los Neones possibly is, maybe Minas del Sur, Puerto Paraiso, somewhere there, then they're gonna have a hard time. They'll have to secure some vehicles. But for now, lots of players, they're deciding not to drop off just yet. They're probably waiting for the right moment to drop. And so this will be fun. I feel like this will be fun. There might be a lot of early game engagements, just like the past few maps, but that's something they'll be seeing really soon.
Mm. And exactly as now that we watch onto these teams, it's still a bit generous to all of these teams. Though we can see CNS, which is very very far from the circle, and it would be a challenge later on, especially that they would be blocked by just a lot all of these teams also trying to get inside the circle.
Yeah, lots of these teams will be having quite a hard time. Actually, see some damage being taken around the center part of the map. I can see actually someone's on the red. Which squad is this? It seems that this would be Ellen Outlaws getting shot at. 2 people down, needing that revive, and one already completely eliminated. And so one more person left. Phoenix. Will he rise up to the challenge or will he get completely picked off? He has such a really bad advantage. Actually, this is a bad disadvantage just from the gun himself. He hasn't picked up a good enough gun and he's already outnumbered. The Ionis, there's still a chance that he could still be revived, but it's not looking good for Phoenix. He's already surrounded by the another squad that might be Leon's United from the color itself. And so Phoenix is in trouble. He's gotta think of something. He's jumping off the building and he takes a lot of damage. And so Phoenix, you gotta rise from the ashes and try to survive for your squad because that's all you can really do at this point. You still don't have a lot of resources, so he doesn't have the choice to engage. And so all he's really doing now is kind of trying his best to disengage, trying to run away from the 2 other squads that are in the nearby.
Hmm. And really, at this point, for the side of Outlaws, I mean, it's still gonna be a game of looting. But if you do look at the minimap right now, it seems like another team is also invading their space and just contesting it all throughout. And really, at all they have to do is to just really group up and wait for this team to go away because they have 2 members remaining, and it's really at the numbers disadvantage if they even try to fight that off. But now looking at the side of Outrage Leo, the rest of the team are already, I think, geared up as they have their cars. They can just go around, maybe take some more areas, maybe get some more loot, and actually maybe get some more throwables at this point. But for now, CNS Esports also very, very far from the circle.
Yeah, they have to worry about the circle, but still quite early on, so they can still kind of chill out, get those resources, get those guns, get those ammos, secure potentially their vehicles as well. And it seems that Phoenix actually survived all of that. He's getting some guns in the back, but honestly, as a solo man in his squad, his chances of survival aren't looking very good. Speaking of survival, it seems that Fen versus NRS is happening somewhere there in the map. So, what's going on? It seems that there are 2 different engagements, actually, Leon and Julia against each other as well. Tazo trying to get those sprays in, but NRS gets away in the getaway car. The same thing with Fush trying to get a better angle against NRS. And so they're giving the chase. Will they find the engagement they need? And will they find the eliminations they need? Something that we'll find out later. But for now, Luke hears that ruckus, and whether or not they'll engage as a third party for the squad, something that we'll find out very soon. For now, they're holding out. They're trying to keep their location a secret, and so that's what they're gonna do right now. And we are off and still.
Mm-hmm. And already starting this game once again, though 5 minutes into the game, surprisingly, all teams are still alive. We might see maybe a lot of slow. I mean, we might see a slow burn game for now. But again, this is just gonna be one of those two chances that all of these teams will have to, in order to even try to reach top part of the leaderboard. For now, Leons United also being occupying this area. At least they have a bit of an upper hand right here, but it seems like one team is already down, and now to the side of TTS Esports, they just stormed into that house, killing one member down, and just
Oh wow.
wait for the rest to even fight back. But for now, they will take the kill, and TTS Esports gets another point.
That was actually Vaco. He got picked off so quite early on, 2 versus 1 against Leon's United. And so that's not looking good for the side of 2MS. It seems that they only have 2 players left standing in the game. And so with that numbers disadvantage, it's not looking good for their chances in this map. But then again, they've managed to put a considerable amount between them top two. And so 2MS, they don't have a lot of things to worry about. Probably basically secured their finals, but still doesn't hurt to get more points in the bag. However, Cloud gets a knock on to a and it's only a matter of time before us gets person left standing is already getting eaten up by that circle, and TTS is circling around like a bunch of vultures trying to get that kill in the bag. But whether or not they will get Zeus, it's something we'll find out early on. But for now, Estella over here, they're all in trouble. Aish needs to revive. Fen returns, swooping in, getting those eliminations, confirmations, those kill points, those frags. Folks here trying to push in, trying to go aggressive, getting those eliminations. Shy is just at the distance. A potential elimination to their name, and all the while 2MS gets caught up to, and so that will be the end for this squad.
And with that on mind as well, Fen returns Japan, also spraying that down, especially that they're against Estella, trying to catch him off guard. The bullets trying to connect right here, but it seems like he'll make it out alive as the rest of the Fen returns are just storming right in and taking them down, one member down as well, but it seems like he will get revived, and that will be an elimination for the side of Estonia.
Yes, for Fen returns, however, they walk away with 3 players left standing. Trillia, however, it's not the same for them. They need to revive 2 of those members, and so Luth, they have the chance to do that revive. Leon's United, they are coming in, trying to look for potential kills. They are like lions in the waiting, trying to find Trillia and get those eliminations in the bag. But this is a stage 2 circle, and so there's a little bit of pressure, especially for Leon's United, very low on health. Healing items in the bag. What can you do? This is time constraint, and he can't just walk out into the open. He's gonna get shot at, and so for now, the best thing they can do is deny those elimination points from Trillia and try to keep them out of their crossfire. Emmy right here, he's gonna have to find something to heal himself if he doesn't. Oh, if you find that, if luck will be on their side, it doesn't look good for them. It's gonna get eaten up by that circle. All the while, UK goes into the lobby with only 2 people in their squad, and so that's already a huge disadvantage in terms of numbers, and already one of their players needing that revive. And so, how UK will fare against Fen returns so far, it's not looking good, but we'll just have to wait and see how they'll perform.
And with UK now back on track, still it leaves them with a bit of a low point as now, especially that they got one member remaining, the other one is down. It seems like they're really getting gunned down here. Ben just really racking up kills is just insane at this point. and just that grenade, it bounced off, leaving that enemy with low HP remaining. Goes in for a couple of sprays before he goes down. It's gonna be an elimination right there from the side of UK. Now Fen returns was what I've noticed a while ago. It seems like they're really going out of their way to gather as much points as possible and to even aim for a lot of placement points. And while that was, while Fen is having that spotlight, we also check on the status of other teams like JNS, which just driving, looking for some areas, and also for the side of other teams as well. No, they're all kind of just really looking for the right place, right position. Especially that Miramar is usually a place with a lot of mountain ranges and maybe some couple of buildings that they can use to shelter. I mean, in that case, other players should really look for mountain ranges to get some higher gun advantage. But for the side of Trillia right here, it seems like they're actually reviving right now, especially that they are quite low on health, and I think they might be suffering a lot of casualties, especially that right now they're storming right in Leon's United. The car goes in, and now Smile goes in as well, looking for an enemy to kill down and to actually finish off. But it seems like they're just being gunned down by this brave hero right here from the side of Trillia, and it seems like he does get down, and with the other team right here from Leon's United will claim that elimination side of Trillia.
Neon's United very confidently storms into the position of Trillia and racks up elimination after elimination, and they walk away with 6 kills to their name. And so that was a great risk and high reward kind of decision on their part, and they walk away with all of their players as still alive from the start. So for everyone else, we have 46 players left standing and 13 teams still in the running, and we're only into the game. So in the true Miramar spirit, it's still a little bit quiet, although a play zone claims the life of one of the players in Leon's United. We saw a while ago they're quite running low on healing items. Hemi, however, still alive, so that's a surprise, and so they managed to just keep on reviving each other and surviving, and that's a good thing, because eventually they did get those 4 eliminations against Trillia, but they gotta get out of there. They gotta get out. Emmy is very low on health, revived once again, so they gotta go fast and furious. They got.
hmm And with that as well, Leeds United, what we've said, they gotta go fast. Especially that most of their teammates are also low on health. And it seems like Emmy right there will go down to be followed by Leon, and that leaves Smile, who will probably have to leave them behind. Okay, that's very surprising, especially that the danger zone. They're still very far away from the play zone, and they still got a minute and maybe less than 2 minutes to be exact, just to find that perfect time to actually be in the right position. But right now they're really caught in a pickle right here, and will probably have to play this one with a smile, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard from here on out. But while that was happening, the off-screen kills right there go to the side of TTS Esports, another team that probably in this match is gonna challenge Fen Returns, because we've also seen Fen Returns going into the hunt. And with TTS Esports, I think they've also shown their efforts right here by hunting other teams as well.
Yeah, and hopefully we can see some kind of good plays coming in from TTS Esports, because so far they don't have a lot of luck running into other squads, so they can't get those early game eliminations, early game frags in the bag. But that doesn't go the same for Outrage Leo and CNS. A lot of squads coming into this area. DOS all and try to swoop in, try to get some potential kills to their side. And so they already have one player that needs that. Throw balls coming in from all sides. some sprays coming in as well. NRS takes one from the DOS, but that's just a trade. Lucio goes down, gets eliminated completely. All the while, sprays coming in from Mamba. Gets that elimination in the bag. That's 1 point to their team. But average Leo, so far, only one elimination. And CNS goes down by the hands of Leo. That's his second knock. On their side, Zoro in trouble, however, very low on health. What can you do? Naomi, how front lines try to get those kills, try to get CNS down, and Naomi, they do the thing, they get CNS completely eliminated from the picture, having 3 kills just to his own name.
And with that, already marks stage number three. Which is actually closing in. We are almost at the 15-minute mark right here, and it seems like there are already 12 teams remaining. Which I think this is gonna be exciting, especially this is the first match of Miramar once again. Usually a game where if you want to have advantage, then you gotta stay at the mountain ranges. But what we're seeing right now is that they're really invading these houses and just taking them down, just knocking on their doors, and in our language we call it tokhang, and it's just really
Hawkang.
yeah, tokhang, and just really approaching these houses and just killing them down while the rest of the teams are right here again gathering as much points as possible to be able to be part of the top leader.
Yeah, they got it. That's the plan. What they're gonna have to do. Just get all the points that you can get, especially for those teams that kind of haven't secured their spot just yet for the finals. They gotta work extra hard. But that circle is going into 50% water, so this is gonna be fun. There's very little land to play around it for these last 12 teams, and so it's gonna be a tight fit for everyone. However, dead on site, they're still having their 4-man squad, but 3 of their members are just in one building. And so, one grenade, they might get wiped out. So, there's something that they could think about. However, for TTS, they're coming in from the side of DOS. And eventually, they're gonna have to go and engage against each other. But all the while, as I was speaking, Grave gets eliminated off the picture. And so, for everyone else, for the 11 teams, still a standstill, nothing coming up in the kill feed, and so everyone's just taking position for any potential engagements later on.
And with that, Fen returns once again on the hunt right here, just catching people, catching them on their vehicles. It feels like Mad Max right here, just gunning them down from afar. And now, again, Fen returns, the shots are trying to connect, especially, I think, I really admire this from Fen Returns because they're garnering as much points as possible, especially with the last matches that they have. It's just gonna be a do or die from here on out. And now 17 minutes into the game and still already into the 9 eliminations, and they really want more is what I've sensed from Fen Returns, and I think they will get that. Ooh, a leg shot right there. He goes down, he goes away, just trying to protect himself right there. And LHC is now also looking for potential threats to kill.
Is LHC just gatekeeping this bridge against anyone who would try to cross this area? LHC is quite spread out from the around the bridge just to make sure that no one will basically counter gatekeep them. And so they have control of this bridge. Sersha will be trying to cross in, so that might be a potential engagement against LHC and Sersha. However, for everyone else, they're gonna have to congregate into the buildings around this area, and so this will be a fun late game. Lots of people are gonna die very soon, and so once that circle closes in, eventually it will probably close into the bunch of buildings after this bridge. It's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a great fight, and so as I was saying, yes, it's gonna go on a lot of buildings. LHC will have to get out of the bridge at some point. NRS and Dead on Sight, they'll have to move in as well. Lots of teams will have to move into the area. And so it'll be a small world in a few minutes. Still 11 teams, 33 players standing. Mighty trying to get those sprays in the bag, get snipes on JNS, but he won't find those eliminations that he needs just yet.
And with that marks as well the 19-minute mark. we are almost near to the end game with 11 teams still alive right here. But now the action is coming already. Fen returns, one member down, one member needs resurrection. The other two trying their best to fight them off, and Jumbo is just trying his best right here. But it seems like it's just gonna be hard as he is now spotted by third party right here, and they just might get cleaned off. TTS Esports, on the other hand, they're also being very careful at this point because they now know that there is going to be a third party, and Jumbo with a grenade throw, and now I think is just really good at throwing those grenades, securing a lot of kills from that. But while that was happening, LHC will get an off-screen kill right there.
Yes, and Fan, they're racking up those points already. 10 eliminations to their name. Taza in their cup. 6 whole eliminations just by himself. And so these teams, they're doing quite well. Especially Fen Returns doing really well in this map. And I'm really excited to see who will come out victorious with that chicken dinner. TTS still in the game, but Goat, however, very positioning to become in. They're out in the open, getting shot on from the back. That was from Goat Esports, and that's a complete elimination for their team. TTS, however, they're also not woods. They only have 2 people left standing. Smokey and Cloud, although they have 5 eliminations already, they have a good position here inside this building, and they have their cross against NRS and Fen Returns. And so, all the while, they'll have to look for some eliminations to get some points in the back. However, for Fen Returns, only 3 people, however, left standing. NRS needs to revive one of their members, and it's quite a mess actually here in this area. There's still 10 teams left standing. There's a lot of potential kills, a lot of potential eliminations to be had in these last few minutes.
And in these last few minutes, indeed, now it's just gonna be a lot of bloodshed, especially that all of these teams are approaching into the safe zone, and now their other teams are also using that to their advantage to gather some kills and just off-angle kills, really. And now TTS Esports, it does look like they're planning this one out very, very carefully, but though they have, I mean, 2 members remaining, it's just gonna be very challenging, especially here for the side of Dead on site as well. For NRS, 1 member down. I mean 1 member left. It's really, really hard to predict. But for the side of LHC, they are very much alive, so they do have that chances. I mean, except if they get attacked from all sides, which is probably gonna be very expected later on.
Actually, these 10 teams, their attention is split to so many opponents from either side. And so, it's quite unpredictable who will kill who. Neon getting sprayed out by Cloud, gets 2 knocks from all of that. And so, all he needs to do now is to just sweep up the mess, try to confirm those eliminations to himself. And so, Fen returns Jumbo, trying to get those sprays in as well. With JNS at the distance, Cloud, TTS also from around that area. And so, this is what I was saying. Their attention is being split apart by several other squads. And one after the other, these squads are falling down. Now we're down to 7 teams. 16 players left, and one more team gets picked off. That would be Neon. We won't be seeing Neon in this map for now. And so we're down to the 6 teams. 22 minutes into the game. DOS, only 2 players left standing. And they got 1 on the side of JNS. Stitch goes down. But will that be a complete elimination? It seems like Shiny is nearby for that revive. But however, Dead on Sight won't let that happen. It won't let that revive happen. Those sprays coming in, but it won't result into any eliminations for now.
And indeed, and now for the last 6 teams here, they're going straight into it. LHC just gathering the rest of his teammates right here. They get hit by the grenade though. Just a lot of grenades being thrown right there. Molotov follows up that one as well. TTS Esports is really going in for the charge right here. A couple of sprays, the shots trying to connect, but of course they won't find it inside the smoke. And it's team elimination right here for the side of LHC. And now down to the last 5 teams. Still, two members from the side of TTS Esports. Esports very, very aggressive at this point. Still gets killed on that Jumbo Fan right there. Another shot trying to connect that one, trying to take them down, but it will fail. They will have to catch up once again. 1 member from TTS Esports goes down to the side of FEN and returns. And for now the last four teams that on site. JNS, however, gets eliminated. United, TTS, Ben returns. They're all here down to the last three teams. TTS gets eliminated, and it's just gonna be up to Dead on Sides versus United. And now Leon's is just gonna be a 1v1, and it's just exciting to see and how this will end because again, these are another teams that have been performing but we never actually see on the top part of that leaderboard. So now I'm excited to see who gets up into the fray.
Great grenade coming in from Smile. Actually takes Rage Y101 on site, but we still have some healing kits. Actually, that was the last for Dead on Side's Rage. That was the last healing item for their side, and so it's not looking good for Dead on Side unless they get to loot another healing item. This is a one versus one. Dead on Side, very aggressive, pushing and trying to find the last player of Leon's Unite. But Smile, however, Smile has the upper ground. They are at the roof, and so whatever wrong move that Rage will do, he will get sprayed at from the top of that building. And so this is a waiting game. That circle, it just has enough opportunities of basically killing both of them. And so it'll just be a matter of probably a healing game at this point if none of them will try to engage the other. Leon's, however, Smile throwing in those throwables, trying to lure out Rage. But Rage is not taking that bait. And now it's just basically a waiting game between these two last players.
They're being very careful at this point. I mean, it's the chicken dinner you're talking about, and these teams actually, honestly, they need to perform a lot, and they have to. I think they're really going for that placement points, just to make sure that they get the most points as possible, and to make sure that they try to get that top part of that leaderboard. And at this point, again, one is inside the house, one is just at the top. It's just gonna be I don't know what to say. It's so unpredictable and how this will end. But it's starting to get the circle is really starting to shrink. So all of the teams, even the ones who died, are also excited to see and how this will end.
Yeah, and actually, I'm pretty sure this circle's not moving anytime soon, and so one of them's gotta do something. It seems that Smile's legs are just moving about, can't stay still. Although I can't say the same thing for that on site. Sitting there, like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm staying here. I'm not gonna move. If you wanna move, then you move. But speaking of moving, that circle's not gonna move. So one of them's gonna move until perhaps maybe this timer is gonna go to 30 minutes. I really hope it doesn't. One of you gotta rage. However, he has all the time in the world. I don't care. I really don't care if we're both gonna just sit this one out and none of us is gonna move. Both of them want those placement points. And I just want this game to end. And so one of you's gotta get a move in. So, oh, what's up, Mike? How was your day? What did you eat?
I
What's
think we
the
can
thing?
start with match number 6 while we wait
Yeah,
for.
let's just end this game. Whoever's phone runs out of battery first, I
Yeah,
suppose.
probably. I mean, yeah.
These
If you do
two.
look at it, they're really at the safe zone. So it's not a matter of it's not a game of healing, just which happened a while ago.
Ah, there we
It's just
go.
really a matter of surviving this one out. But I guess we're already facing each other right here. The sprays goes in, but the chicken dinner will go towards Leon's United.
Yes, finally, that circle forces the two to move, and that would be the victory for Leon's United. With their overall rank of 11, match points of 20, total damage of 1,712, total elimination of 10, and total points of 43. It's quite a far cry from placing into the finals, but still, a chicken dinner is a chicken dinner. These are the individual teams. That Smile has a 6 eliminations to their name, and so that would put a smile on your face, definitely. And
Mm-hmm.
for everyone else, they got 2 eliminations. Sammy and Gumbo each have one considerable amount of damage, however, in Smile 904. And so this is the match number 11, the second to the last of this group. So with 61 eliminations, 66 knockouts, total use of 6.5k, 4 grenade eliminations, 42 assists, and 2 vehicle eliminations of for this whole match.
And with that marks that end for match number 11. We will head on, of course, later to match number 12. But before they will have that, we also take a look at the MVP, which is Taza Fen from Fen Returns once again. And here with 8 eliminations and a whopping damage of 1,121. It's just remarkable. I've actually, mentioned their strategy a while ago. They were just knocking on the doors, just taking them down, and then move to another place, another house, and just repeat. And I think that's what led to their a lot of eliminations for their team. Fan returns garnering a lot of points, even without getting that chicken dinner. And now with the top players to be followed by Smokey from TTS Esports, Smile from Leons United, Cloud from TTS Esports again, and Jumbo from Fan Returns, which we've also seen Jumbo perform well. And again, these are your top players for that match number 11. Now, for Fan Returns, they will actually leave match number 11 with 20 points. They will move towards that later on. But for now, to be followed, that would be Leons United as well, with a chicken dinner and 20 points. To be followed as well by TTS Esports with 17 and 13 points for that on site.
And those are your top teams for this match. And of course, for everyone else, they will get some points. They will walk away with a few points. But for everyone else who haven't, who don't seem to have a chance to rake enough points to get to qualify for the finals, it's not looking good for them. Although it was a good run, it was a good run. They will off from the tournament. Still, they have a lot of experience from this tournament, and so it's still something that you can get out. That was, ladies and gentlemen, match number 11 with the victory of Leons United, garnering 20 points from the first Miramar map of the night. We will be moving on to our last final match of the group stage 1 of day 2 later on. That will be our second Miramar map, our match number 12. But before we get to that, of course, we will be having a short break. So for those of you tuning in, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Once again, we are back to Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 4. This is group number 1 in the group stage. This is day number 2. And this is also the last match for this group. Match number 12. Our last Miramar for today and for stage of the first group actually. So once again, we are your casters. My name is Annie, and tonight with me is Mike. Mike, what did you think about this group stage so far?
Well, for this group stage, it's really looking good for the side of 2MS Esports once again, as they really secured that's number one spot. Now, really just securing their spot to the finals, which is actually good for the rest of these teams. I mean, they've also managed to secure their places, but at this point, this is just going to be the last chance for those that are planning to also join qualifiers for the finals later on. But once again, Miramar, another opportunity for them to try their best here. And really, for all of those teams, especially I think for 2MS Esports, is they just have to play this one carefully as to not get surpassed. But yeah, as of now, what matters most is the teams that are going to be pushing towards the finals.
Yes, they have to focus on qualifying for the finals. That's the goal. Not much on, garnering the top one spot. Still, it wouldn't hurt, but the important thing is to qualify in at least the top five. And so for these teams, we're going into our last match for this group stage. So that flight path going in from El Pozo, going down to the eastern central part of Miramar towards around the northern part of Impala. And so there's a lot of chances, there's a lot of opportunities for these 18 squads to land in. It's maybe they can go north if they want, they can go south, but the very far south, like Minas del Sur, maybe not that accessible. But for now, that circle is a very forgiving towards the players. And so for those who have into the safe zone, into the play zone, they're not gonna have a lot of things to worry about. But we can already see from the map itself, another player already taking damage. These squads having an early game engagement, landing in the same area in the same building.
And with that as well, in the same building, really at this point, we can actually see some early engagements, which would probably end this match a bit earlier. But judging that, if this is the last match for this group stage, then we might actually see these teams being very careful. But for now, once again, Leons United on the run here as they try to take them down as well, just using the building to their advantage. And it looks like one of their members from another team as well getting beaten up right there, and just gonna be another kill for Leons United.
Yeah, Leons United walked in with only three people in their lineup. And so that's already numbers disadvantage, but still, they have a good start. They have one kill in the back. They do have one player that they need to revive. And so, for everyone else involved, that would be Ellen and us, and Outrage Leo at a distance as well. Leo, they need to revive Fool, and they already lost Naomi. So, actually, they also lost Maito, I believe, or they just disconnect. So, not looking good for their squad, especially that this is their last chance, and they're really far away from getting and getting the finals. And all the while, there's another Sershaw, one after the other, they're just straightening each other off. Coot already going down on the side of Goat Esports, and Fen returns, however, they also find their own engagement. Kill in the back. And so this is actually a three-way engagement between Sershaw, Fen returns, and another squad. So this is gonna be fun. This is quite fun for these teams. We're gonna see a lot of early game engagements, early game eliminations, because these teams they managed to somehow stumble upon each other so early on into the game.
hmm And also for the side of Shersha, again, I mean, there are still three members in their team, and once again, it might seem like they just got isolated, but for now, looking at other teams, I think really the trend here is that it could be a fast end for this game, especially that there are a lot of teams occupying I mean, same spaces. And when it comes down to that, they already have no choice but to just fight to the death. But now looking at the side of Estelia, seems like Shy getting down right here is just gonna be hard for him to fight back later on. And now in Strelia actually being aggressive and just trying to get that kill, which led to his demise, and he goes down from his teammates from Estelia. And I mean, that was really a great attempt right there at taking them down, at getting a point, and it just resulted them losing 1 point.
Yeah, that was the wrong approach for the side of Trilia. Definitely shouldn't have taken that risk just for basically getting baited to getting that elimination. But 1 versus 1, Shy wins that, takes Luth down, and only walks away with half their health. We're just yet Cap trying to get sprays from a distance, trying to redeem their squad, but however, Cap is taking some damage. Side of Ayo and Shy, and so Luth completely loses their life, and so that's one down on the side of Trilia. Monk still needs to be revived. There's still a chance that he can live, but however, Shy and Ayo, they're not giving that chance to Cap. Cap is getting shot at as well, but all the while, I'm not sure if they're aware that there are other members of Trilia from a distance as well. So this is a standoff between the two teams. Shy very, very low on health, and Trilia having the numbers so far. But Monk, however, Monk is very low on health, and so there isn't a lot of chances that he'll pretty much survive this engagement. So, Estelia, they're rotating out. It's not looking good for their side. But Sky, however, gets that confirmation on Monk and also chases down one person from Trilia, and so Cap is the only one left. Aish and AU, they're giving the chase, trying to finally put the last nail on the coffin on Trilia. They just need to take down Cap to really finish this whole squad up.
And now with Cap as the last member standing right here, it's really just hard for them to it. I think it's just gonna be a no for them to move to the finals. I mean, right now he's the last member standing. Their current standing overall as well is it's also very very low. But for now, they will get taken down, and that would be the end for Australia as they get eliminated, being that 17th team. And now we move back to action as now the Fen returns are also are starting to be aggressive as well, trying to attack them, trying to invade them. Especially that Goat here is kind of separated from each other, and Fen. I mean, they are separated, but they're also planning on what kind of attack they're gonna do, especially when they're separated. But for now, for the other teams, they might get hit by that danger zone, but you know it doesn't really hurt that much. It's still stage 1, but at this point, the exact threats that are lying around here are those other teams.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that have possible engagements over here. LHC against Graveyard, trying to get those eliminations in the bag, but so far they only find Nox. Mighty needs that. Mighty needs that revive, and Malco over here trying to get some resources in the bag. All the while, JNS Poison on their side needs that revive, and all the while also finds their own engagement against Goat. Against Goat Esports. So not looking good for Goat Esports. Itachi is the only one left still standing, and everyone else needs that revive. They want to continue on with 3 people in their line. They gotta get those eliminations, rather those revives. But Itachi, however, gets wiped completely by Fen returns, and that is the end of Goat Esports, I believe, for now.
hmm And to that, an elimination once again for the GOAT, and now it leaves the 15 teams. Still at the early as an 8-minute mark, we actually might see a very fast end to day number 1 for this group number 1. And again, I'm excited with, I mean, you know, it's really expected for 2MS to already be, to actually move later to the finals, but we will still, I'm also excited if the other teams will surpass them in the number 1 spot. But for now, LHC tries to get a few kills right there. The grenade also trying to match that up just to get a few more kills, and he gets 1 down. Stitch goes down, and now Poison as well will also go down, and that would actually mark the end right there for the team. And now, since that LHC, they have cleaned that up, they can now rescue their teammate and they can now go away to.
Now, for LHC, actually, they are around lingering around top 3 to top 6. And so they have to work extra hard in order to secure a spot in the finals because they have a chance. But in the end, they also have a chance of getting picked off from the top 5 and eventually not moving into the finals. So they have to work extra hard, get those extra eliminations, and get those placement points as well because they are competing with maybe 4 other teams for the top 3 to 6 slots. Because I remember top 2, it's pretty much secured for the top 2, and of course 2MS, it's gonna be hard to catch up to them. But LHC, they need to work extra hard in order to secure their spot in the finals because they do have. And all the while, as I was speaking, it seems that Sersha finds an engagement against Fan Returns Jumbo with throwable in hand, trying to get Escanio from inside the building, but however, that damage won't be dealing anything against Escanio. Jumbo pushing into the building, trying to find a better angle at this point, but all the while, finding the positions inside this building. Inside this window, we see Escanio very near the Molotov fire get away, but Fan returns on the first floor of the building. Will they be pushing in? That's the question. So far, Escanio is a very, very disadvantaged in terms of numbers. Everyone else is gone from his squad, and so he's the last hope. And he's going against 3 people from Fan returns, and with that, they circle around him like vultures, and that is the complete end of Sersha by the hands of Fan returns.
It indeed marked their end, and now it seems like the teams are getting a lot smaller and smaller as we head on to the final match for group stage number 1. Once again, with looking for the side of CNS Esports right here, they have 0 eliminations and still 3 members in, which is they have to make a lot of kills right here to be part of that finalist later on, but it's looking the chances are looking slim for them honestly at this point. But still, they can try to be a nuisance to other teams and to just try to break them down, especially those teams that are trying to move up to the leaderboards, move up to the finalists. And yeah, I mean the other teams with that on site, they can also catch up. They will take it will take a lot of killing first, and maybe that winner chicken dinner. But for the rest of these teams with Stella, still preparing to meet their worst later on, as they have another team right there trying to take this space aside from.
Yeah, actually, Stella's doing quite well. They managed to get 7 eliminations already, 12 minutes into the game. They actually have the highest amount of frags of any other team in this map so far. And so they're doing quite well. Hopefully, we can see that kind of momentum later on in the late game. But so far, they have a 3-man team looking quite well, but LHC, however, not looking good for Mighty. Mighty needs to get revived, and they're getting eaten up by that circle already. And so, whether or not they can get Mighty up to speed again, it's something we'll find out later. But, however, someone fell to their death from the side of Graveyard. They're finding their own graves, but at least they managed to deny that elimination another team nearby. And so, Grave, they're quite grave actually. Their situation is quite grave. But
We
speaking
go
of grave,
now.
Dionysus, what was that? Gets hit by a grenade. Point blank, loses their life completely. And now OTL's completely eliminated. But all the while, Scythe's in trouble. Getting shot at by Mighty Sui right there in the middle of the road. And so that's confirmation. That might not be confirmation just yet. He's still trying to lure out the other members of Fen Returns, trying to get more eliminations. All the while, LHC trying to get those sniper kills in. They have a good position here. They have a good position to kind of like sandwich if Fen returns and try to surround them by both areas. But so far, they're not finding the eliminations that they need. Yes, they're putting in some damage. Those eliminations is what really counts point.
And with that, again, it ends that graveyard shift once again with 11 teams right here, almost in the 14-minute mark. It's just something. I don't even know what to say. I mean, these teams are dropping very, very fast, and we could actually um witness a slow end later on if the teams really start to get slim and then the circle is still a bit bigger. Then that's gonna be a hard one to pull off later on for all of these teams because there's just gonna be a lot of area to cover, and with that, a lot of area to go for shelter as well, and to go for repositions because all of these teams though, they're already prepared. I think they're really prepared, and even with that, Fen returns being a madman as they are, they still gather a lot of points even to this one. And of course, that would still be the end for them as they get eliminated by none other than LHC. But for now, we try to actually look to other teams. LHC, they are looking good with 4 members alive and 8 kills already on their team for this match. To be followed, of course, with EST as well. 8 kills, but they do have a bit of a chance because they have 3 members remaining. But if you do look at here, LHC gets taken down with 2 members, and now just gonna be up to the rest of the 2 members to try to make it out alive here and maybe go for placement.
One after the other, LHC's players going down on the hands of another squad. But here, Stella, they're doing really well. They are 10 kills to their name. And so, just taking a peek at that circle, there's a lot of open spaces. Although there are some buildings, it's still too early to say, how this late game will go. And so, for the teams that are still standing, they will have to rotate into the area and secure some locations, some really good spots in preparation for the late game. And so that's exactly what Estella's doing with their cars, just trying to get into position and eventually secure this area over here. For everyone else outside of this next circle, they will have to keep on moving as well. It goes the same with 2MS, Leon's United, CNS over there in the southeastern part, and NRS in the southern part. Very near to the circle, Neon, same with. And so, eventually, these teams, they will run into each other, especially those in the southern part of the new circle. We're gonna see a lot of engagements later on.
Mm-hmm. And we could actually see those engagements, but we could also witness a lot of safe plays, especially that the teams have narrowed down to the last 10. And this is the last match. They would do their best to be very careful, and just at this point gather as much points as they can because you never know, you might be a part of that finalist.
Yes, you really would never know unless you try, basically. So you gotta get all the points that you can get from this map as much as possible in order to qualify for the finals. That is the goal for now. But TTS, Shafu gets eliminated, gets confirmed as well. So that leaves TTS with only 3 people standing in their squad. And so, what can they do now that they're being surrounded by several other squads nearby? And so, TTS, of course, they can go aggressive. They definitely have the skill for that, they have the resources for that. But when and how? That is the question. What is their plan for initiating? Desmond takes some damage, and so would such a lot of damage in just a few seconds. And with the knockout, it's only a matter of time before they get completely finished off from the game. But for now, they walk away with their lives. They crawl away for their lives. And TTS Esports, they're hunting down some potential kills. Desmond is just out. And so if they get that finisher on him, that's one more point to their name. However, they're not gonna risk that just yet. They're not gonna go greedy completely. Although we can see actually TTS Esports, I think they have that opportunity to kind of get those revives in the bag. Actually, that's 2MS. 2MS in trouble, gets hit by a grenade point blank, and it takes so much damage. And that would just result to a need of revive. Okay, 1 versus 1 in the corner of that building, and so another one goes down to the side of 2MS. And that will be the end actually of 2MS. They walk away with 0 points to their name for this map, but perhaps nothing to worry about. They still probably qualify for the finals. They have a lot of points stored up from the previous maps, but still, it was the end of 2MS for.
Mm-hmm. And with that, really, at this point, I've noticed that LHC and TTS Esports, they're usually the ones that are really aggressive for today. That's what I've noticed. And there are also other teams, but in this match, LHC and TTS Esports are really pushing it in. I mean, of course, with fan returns as well, we also have to give them credit because they're usually the teams that go in for the charge and really just go in aggressively and gather as much points as they can. So I'm really excited on maybe one of these teams will get that winner chicken dinner, and maybe one of them will be a qualifier to the final.
Yes, that's really possible. Stella here, however, they have managed to secure that building but didn't get to run into any engagements. So, although they have 10 eliminations to their name, still, they gotta work extra hard if they want to qualify for the final. Because they're a little bit far from qualifying against the other teams. But so far, LHC, they find some trouble as well. They're only a two-man team at this point. However, they do have 9 kills to their name. So, on the other hand, Dead on Side finds a knock on their side. Estella as well finally finds the engagement that they need. All the while, TTS and NRS all engagements coming in. Aish getting those sprays on against Leon's United, and Neon also at the distance. And so this is a sandwich, a very bad sandwich for Gumbo from Leon's United. But on their side, Gumbo gets eaten up by that circle, and that elimination for Mighty Sui, it goes on to the name of IU. But however, it's not over just yet. Shy needs that revive. Needs that revive. Needs to get those revives in the bag. But however, Leon's United those sprays in but doesn't find the eliminations that they need, and so he has the opportunity to revive Gumbo. They're gonna do for now.
And now we're down to the last 8 teams. LHC being eliminated, as we've mentioned a while ago, they have the potential, but it was just not enough as now they have been eliminated. Now another challenger here approaches. It's gonna be Estelia trying to take them down. The shots are coming in. It's trying to connect, but they're using the walls to their advantage right here, using them to cover in. Angaish going in straight for the push, and now he gets that kill, still confirming it once and for all. And now these 3 members, they have a chance to live, and for that, United as well, they will get eliminated. And now we're down to the last 7 teams. The time of 21 minutes. Again, I'm excited on how this will end. Another team elimination right there, and there are just off-screen kills in the kill feed. Leo being that 7th team eliminated a while ago. Now we're down to the last 6 teams, and just really excited on how this will end. TTS Esports are at it and just really pushing it in. They have a lot of kills, and they're just gonna um make sure that they're just gonna be a part of it. Now that on site catches one dead on site as he's taking them down. The rest of the teammates as well, they have the higher gun advantage. They're gonna use that and really just rack out much points as they can to try to be a part of that finalist. So for now, a lot of kills are happening as well. 4 teams remaining, and that on site, so 1 member down. It's just gonna be up to these last 3 members to help him up. And just again, 3 teams that on site, TS Esports and CNS, who will actually get this chicken dinner. We're about to find out in this last match for this group stage, and it's just gonna be a 1v1 for these teams. Actually 3v3, but one is down between that on site and TTS Esports. Once again, the grenade goes in, trying to take them down, trying to chip on their health, but also these TTS Esports, they're also very strategic at this one, and they just do a lot of damage. And that on site, one of their members gets that a lot of damage from that. They just really one hit, and he is just gone. And now the rest of the that on site as well, 2 members versus 3 on the side of TTS Esports. There's just a battle of dodgeball right here. And again, these grenades, as long as they will explode right on time, right in the right place as well, they will get taken down that easily. And they both have the lower ground here, so it's just gonna be a challenge. The dead on site here trying to push for trying to assert their dominance as well, but it seems like they're just being countered by the smoke shooting through it. And now just gonna be up to the last member right here. There's gonna be a rage right here trying to fight them off guard. And now one of their members is down. And it seems like the dead on site right here, pushing it in for the TTS Esports as they get that winner chicken dinner for dead on site. Congratulations.
Yes, Dead on Site finally racking up that chicken dinner for their team. TTS, they had a good run, but eventually they just won gunfight after gunfight. Just get those damages in the bag. And so our last map, our last winner chicken dinner goes on to Dead on Site for this group stage. And of course, the overall ranking is something that we'll find out later and the match points, they did rack up 20 points for this game. So these are the individual team stats for each of these players. For eliminations for the side of a Z108, Country gets 3, and Dino gets a 0 elimination. Rage 3 elimination. Taking a look at the damage, is only in the 400s for their best performing player. And now these are the match summaries for our match number 12, our last match for this group stage. 59 eliminations, 60 knock, 6.8k healings, grenade eliminations of 8, 36 assists, and 1 lone vehicle elimination for this match. So that was basically our last Miramar for this group stage, and that was the last chance for these 18 teams to qualify for the finals. And once again, this is season 4, and so this is the last chance also to qualify for the last event. And so there's a lot of pressure going in. And meanwhile, MVP goes on to establish Aish, of course, with 5 eliminations and 783 damage to their name.
Mm-hmm. And wow, a lot of damage. And really, Estella, we've we've seen them, perform. But in the first day, it was hard for them. In the second day, right now, they were getting the hang of it, and we're also wondering if they ever reach that finalist. Maybe they have the chance, especially that they have popped off, and now we get to watch the top players for match number 12 to be followed by Matsui from LHC, and now as well from Estelia. That's Shy once again, and another third member from Estelia once again, and to be ended up with, of course, from the dead on site with 4 eliminations. And I mean, these teams, really kudos to Estelia for really putting up a big fight right here. They hopefully, maybe they can, all those effort will pay off if they get picked to be, if they qualify to be at the finalist, to be the finalist of the game, really, at this point. But with the dead on site getting the chicken dinner with 20 points overall to be followed, that one again by Estella with 14, TTS Esports with 12, and Neon with 9. The rest goes on with LHC with 9 points and 8 and below.
Yes, and unfortunately, this would be the last chance for these squads to really put any kind of point into their leaderboards. And so there was a lot of pressure coming in few maps. And unfortunately, a lot of these teams walked away with nothing so far. Even 2MS, they got picked off quite early. And so they walk away actually with 0 points to their name before getting picked off. And that goes the same as Sersha, JNS, OTL, Grave, and K as well. Trillia, however, manages to get 1. Leo and Both gets 2 as well. So that was the match rankings for this final map, for this match number 12 of the group stage 1. So for these teams, I think the fans over there, they can kind of calculate maybe if their team managed to bag a place in the finals or whether or not they have a chance to get to the finals. Lots of these teams, of course, it's looking bleak for them. But however,
Mm-hmm.
once again, taking a look at the match schedule, we have finally finished all 12 matches of this group stage with the final chicken dinner going to Dead on, getting 20 points on this final Miramar map. And so, coming in next, we might see the overall, the most important, the most exciting part, really, of this part of the group stage. This final judgment day, basically, the group number 1.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And again, I'm excited. But of course, the MVP overall comes from 2MS Esports. Everyone give it up for Vacox. Of course, it's him. Seen him we've seen his progress since day one and now day two. Still even with it winner chicken dinner alone, even though his enemies were like around four, I guess, and at that point it was really hard to clutch that, but in the end he still manages to deliver the chicken dinner to the rest of his teammates, and it just really Vacox is a threat to be dealt with. Maybe in the near future, especially if they do become finalists. And to follow that up with from TTS Esports, there's gonna be Smokey and Cloud to be followed as well with Savvy from Fen Returns and Leona, which they have also performed well. I mean, we've seen them in the kill feed. We've seen them do their clutches as well. Very, very impressive for all of these members to be at the top players. But now, being that the group one rather, is over, we have to decide really on which teams that are going to be moving towards that. And here we have the overall rankings from match 1 to match 12. That's going to be 2MS Esports to be followed by Fen Returns, TTS Esports, Neon, SDMZ, LHC, and Night Raiders, and the list goes on and on.
Yes. And 2MS and Fenritters, they actually tied for first place,
Mm-hmm.
but wow, still all the same. However, they qualified both for the finals. And so it goes same with TTS Esports 118, Neon with 98, and LHC working really hard. And finally, it's paying off. They garnered top number 5 rank with 87 points. So for the rest of the teams, unfortunately, we might not be seeing them in the finals. And so we might be seeing them in any future tournaments to come. But for now, it seems that they won't have a chance yet. And so these are how the rest of your favorite teams fared during this group stage. And unfortunately, Graveyard Shift, they haven't gotten any points as so far. And they haven't even participated in the previous games. Quite unfortunate. But for everyone else, they did quite a good job. Lots of these teams crossed at least maybe the 50-point mark. Some with the 40s, some with 30s. And so hopefully we can see these wonderful teams maybe improve in the later parts in any future tournaments perhaps. And so once again, we are down to the prize pool distribution. First place of course gets 7k, second place 4k, third place gets 2k, fourth place gets 1k, and fifth place gets 500 with the MVP, and that must be Vaku, I believe, with
Mm-hmm.
500. And so this has been Maldives Championship Contender Series. This was group number 1 of stage. This is season number 4, the last chance to qualify for the 100k prize pool LAN. And so that was our last match for day number 2 of the group 1 stage. We will be having group number 2 tomorrow to come. We'll have a group 3 stage as well. And so for now, we'll be saying goodbye. We'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully, to support Ooredoo Nation's tournament, Maldives Championship Contender Series Season 4. And so for now, it's good night for everyone. We'll be seeing you tomorrow for action.